Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Kanode Knows. This week on the show, we got Adam Roye. Adam Roye is a graphic designer from Texas. And in college, he started a little zine called Cult. And in around 2008, 2009, rumblings were happening with the Robbie and Fit situation. And he was a massive part of the beginning of what we all know and love, Cult Crew. So in 2010, all the images that you've seen for Cult, everything, Adam Roye. And I always was a big fan of that style of art, and I had no clue, who's doing it or whatever. But then eventually, time goes on, and then BurnSlow becomes a thing, and I figure out it's the same guy, and his Instagram is just drawing in the dark. I don't know shit about this guy. I literally didn't know what he looked like until, a couple hours before we recorded this, and I did some research, and I watched his episode with Mike from Traction Coffee. Scared of Normal, I think is the name of the podcast. You should go check that out. I'll put the link in the description if you want some background on who Adam is and his life journey. But yeah, Adam's the shit, and I've been blessed enough to have BurnSlow sponsor this podcast for the past, I don't even know how long, 6-7 months. So that's very cool, and I'm very grateful. And it's crazy because we've never spoken, not even on the phone. We've just been text messaging. So it was nice to meet my sponsor. I like Adam. I think you'll like this conversation. Definitely a little bit looser than most podcast episodes that I've done. I felt like I was just talking shit, hanging out with the homie. And yeah, Adam's the man. So fucking forgive me for being a little tipsy, I guess, in this episode, but enjoy. Here we go. Adam Roye.
Kanode Knows.
Let's freaking go. Hi, Adam Roye. Thanks for making this shirt. This is a nice shirt.
Yeah.
Purple swag.
You look nice.
Thank you. You look nice too, dude.
Thanks.
Where do we even start, Adam Roye? For my listeners who don't know who you are, you're the creator of BurnSlow, la-da-dee-da-dee-da, graphic designer for Cult. He's an amazing human being and very talented, but where do I start, dude? What we just had a great off-camera conversation. Now I'm all nervous because I'm on a podcast. Is this your second podcast appearance?
Yeah, I think that sounds right. Yeah.
Mike seems like a sweetheart. Traction.
Oh yeah, I love Mike. He's a great guy for sure. He's super easy to talk to, and yeah, he's got a pretty cool thing going on, I feel like.
Yeah, the way that he would ask questions, I was like, this guy is so nice. It's makes me want to just get on here and be mean. He sent me a letter. He sent me free bags of coffee in supporting the podcast. So shout out Mike, shout out Traction Coffee. It's fucking awesome.
Hell yeah.
What are you working on now? What's your Friday night look like?
I just got fiber Wi-Fi installed, and that took a really long time, and now I'm drinking a red stripe and hanging out with you, I guess.
Well, let's go. I'll crack open my hazy little thing.
What is that?
I don't know, some Sierra Nevada. It's an IPA. Ain't no red stripe, but cheers, brother. Let's do a podcast.
Sounds good, buddy.
Thanks for supporting the podcast. What's it been? How long have we been dating? It's crazy that we haven't talked. I haven't even talked to you on the phone before this. Have I talked to you on the phone? I have a very bad memory.
I think maybe once, maybe not. I can't. Yeah, it's hard to say.
I don't think we have.
No, let's go with no.
Yeah. Thanks for putting on for the pod.
Yeah, man, of course. I think you're a good conversationalist, and it's interesting for me to hear about history of weird people and stuff, so I like it.
Yeah, there's some ones where I'm like, this is good. There's some other ones where I'm doing it and I'm just like, what am I doing? But that's just
Yeah.
The fuck am I doing? We don't have to name names. Project Spoke was one of the most boring people I've ever spoken to. I love what he's doing, but it was sitting on my couch just going, God damn.
Holy shit.
I'm feeling spicy. Shout out Justin Schwanky, whatever. Which ones have you listened to, if you've listened to any?
The most recent one I listened to was Ralph, and I got probably, I think 90% of the way. His audio quality was a little rough.
It was bad. Yeah. Bad internet. He's in like a closet. It was something.
But I found it interesting enough to, get through that part of it, which is, so, that says something about what was going on there.
100%. My 16-year-old self was freaking the fuck out while I was talking to him. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, that's super cool. He's a legend for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I listened to bits and pieces of all of them, but like not all the way through. I don't really listen.
What about in general? Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, so because some people's podcasts aren't their thing. I'll tell you, I've never listened to. When I've made a clip, I listen to one episode of mine, but I like record and then I'm not gonna listen to a BMX podcast. Unclicked, I listened to on my way out to do it, just so I could like have some research. But aside from that, I don't want to listen to a BMX podcast. What do you listen to?
Well, I mean, we were talking about before watching TV shows while I work a lot of times. But
so a year ago, you were listening to Breaking Bad. What is it now?
It's circled back to Breaking Bad, actually.
Nice. It's on a cycle, dude.
Yeah.
Jesse.
Yeah. That show is really funny, actually.
I bet you noticed shit that you didn't notice the 10th time on the 11th.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, and I'm only halfway paying attention, so it's like, I definitely, and I can't tell you how many times I've had a show on in the background where something was said or a shirt someone was wearing is like, oh, that's awesome. I like something, some part of that, and I'll put it in my notebook, and then it eventually turns into something. So it's like a kind of part of the process, I would say.
What's an example of that? Can you think of one?
Fucking man, not off the top of my head, but like any of like the weird catchphrases on like all the cult t-shirts we would do, that would be like from a song or from a movie. And a lot of times I would flip them, like laugh now, cry later. We would change into cry now, laugh later, stuff like that. Just flipping a lot of phrases and stuff. But it would, seeing them in pop culture and then being like, oh, I like that. And then thinking about what it means a little bit and just trying to apply it in a way that all kind of ties together, I guess.
That's pretty cool. I like that. How that leads me into, like, I remember I wrote down, thinking of questions for you, like your latest release of BurnSlow, Bam Margera, the old school bike. What the fuck's going on in your brain? Like, give me, like, if you know what, here's what it is. You said in the interview, you were talking about how you didn't necessarily like explaining the reasoning behind a creative direction for a certain thing, but it's a skill in itself to be able to do so. And so I thought, okay, let's go through the latest release of BurnSlow products and have you explain, as if you work for me, why we should put this shirt out. Might be a bit much, but I really like the one. Well, I love this one, classic, but the one with the old school style bike on it. What would be your pitch to the corporate headquarters for that?
So that graphic reminds me of my very first BMX bike, and it reminds me of a classic time in BMX, of course, in my mind and within my references. But I think and this is like thinking in terms of like sort of growing the brand outside of people that are just BMXers. I think outside people can relate to that. Oh, I remember being a kid and seeing like a classic BMX bike and like, oh, that's cool. Just that feeling of when you were a kid and tapping into that. And I just think I'm just becoming more in touch, or not more in touch, but thinking a lot more about just that time in my life. And I mean, modern BMX is like kind of, I feel like turning me into an old guy where I'm just thinking about how it was before in my day. But it's just the natural sort of evolution and cycle of life and how things go,
Well, yes, Adam, as the corporate man who's approving this project, I think this is a good idea, and we can reach a new market of people that aren't involved in BMX actively. So
rubber stamped.
Rubber stamped. Let's go ahead and move forward with this product. That's money.
Excellent. Dude. Thank you.
Yeah. What's been the like? If that's a fun like little topic to stay on because BurnSlow's done a bunch of different designs. What if you can think of it off the top of your head? What would be the most difficult one to sell to a superior if you had one at BurnSlow to put that shirt out?
Oh,
What's the
honestly,
one that you put out? Sorry, what's the one that you put out where you're like, I'm glad I own this company because I get to do this?
the thing is I can always sell anything if I need to. That's how I can always stand behind anything and come up with a reason to justify it. And not everything is going to be justified in terms of monetarily. Some of it is in terms of like creating noise
Yeah,
or creating, just building your brand, like putting out certain images that contribute to an overall picture that like you want to put out. And so like that, there's always an angle essentially. And I don't think there's been a lot of the stuff that I thought was the safest is the stuff that does the worst, honestly. So like in terms of selling. So I don't really worry about that too much. You kind of just like, I kind of just do what I want to do as long as it all sits in with a certain budget and checks a bunch of boxes that I want to be checked, essentially.
sick. Yeah, give me an example of like a safe one that didn't do well, and then a risky one that did really well.
Oh man, I'm struggling to think off of the top of my head, but
I
like
can pull up the website. You want to look at the website?
I mean, sure. I think a risky one that did well maybe would be, we did a monarch butterfly knit sweater, and it was like a full knit pattern of a butterfly, and that's a bit risky for a BMX brand, I would say. And we were able to sell out of those fairly quickly, so that's an example of a risk that
I like
worked.
that. Yeah. I don't even know if I could see it on the site. That's good.
A lot of
a while ago, right?
Yeah, I've honed in, I would say, on kind of what's working for BurnSlow. So nothing really falls in line with, everything's moving for the most part, slowly but steadily, I would say.
It's sick to hear. Yeah. When you talked about like the shirt earlier with like the reasoning behind the classic bike shirt, it made me wonder like what would you say is the percentage of people that are outside of BMX buying versus inside of BMX? Because I know BMX is fucking small and it's difficult to whatever. You finish the rest of that sentence, but yeah.
You're right. It's really hard to say, but I think if I had to guess, we probably do better than most other BMX like style companies. Like as in terms of like selling clothes to non BMX people, and a lot of it is our friends and their friends that like what we're doing, because we have like a kind of a big group in Austin of people. Like it's me and Chase Hawken, Aaron Ross, and Devin Hutchins, and Tina and Tom that own Empire. We're all owners in BurnSlow, and they like I said, like kind of all our surrounding friends. We all have our friend group, and then we all have external friend groups, and then and they all support us. So that's a lot of the outside, I would say. But
it's the butterfly. No, that's not the butterfly effect, but there's butterflies on your shirts, so that's cool. That's fucking awesome. I actually did a contest on a YouTube video that I actually need to go back and pick a winner, but I said name all the founders of BurnSlow, and I think one person nailed it, so they're gonna get a shirt.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, just lost my train of thought with you. Oh, what's an Adam Roye doing on a Friday night? What are you working on?
Well, I mean, tonight I'm chilling. I'm gonna work on my garage maybe a little bit.
Nice.
Building it out into like a workshop kind of, and just building shelves for storage. But like design wise, we've got, hold on. I'll give you a sneak peek.
Let's go.
Of a new Empire beer can.
Damn. Wait.
Beer can?
Empire's making beers? That's a fire beer can. I like that.
Austin Beer Works, ever heard of it?
No, I haven't. I like that.
So we got that coming out.
That's exciting.
October. I think.
That's quite exciting. It seems like every podcast you do, you have a fall project happening in the advance of it. Having just watched your Traction interview, you mentioned in there that you had a undisclosed collaboration, and then boom, Etnies.
Boom.
How did that go? First of all, how did it come about, and then how did it go? This episode is brought to you by Unity Ride Shop. Unity Ride Shop is Phoenix's best BMX store. It's off 43rd Avenue in Bethany Home. It's rider owned. They put on local events. They sponsor a bunch of riders locally, and they're doing the type of stuff that a BMX scene needs. They're filling a lot of holes that we didn't know we had in Phoenix. So it's pretty dope. They just had a jam in Chandler not too long ago. Helped me out with putting my bike together. And it's a fun time hanging out in that shop. I filmed some there, so I'll put some B-roll shots over this. But I like Unity Ride Shop, and you should too. So next time you're in need of some BMX stuff and you're in Phoenix, go to Unity Ride Shop, 43rd Avenue in Bethany Home. Back to the show.
It came about because Chase rides for Etnies, and I don't remember who put it together and who sort of made it happen. I believe Pova was still there whenever we started the conversation, and I think he deserves a lot of credit for everything that went on there BMX wise. So 100%. I'm gonna go ahead and guess.
I don't know who it is. Explain John Pova real quick.
Sorry, John Pova, who was a long time, I guess, a team manager for BMX. I'm not sure exactly what his role and titles were. I'm sure it changed over the years. Maybe not, but Etnies is owned and run by a skateboarder, and mostly skateboarders that work there, and so they tend to prioritize that. And so John Pova was the guy that was the BMXer that worked there that like held it down as much as he could for us and pushed for BMX and BMX riders and stuff.
Legend.
Yeah,
that's money. Money isn't good. I don't know about money, but it's good.
Well, they just sold. Did you see that? Etnies,
no.
Finally, they sold to the Nidecker Group, I believe is what it's called. It's a family ski company that they own a manufacturing plant. I could be blundering some of this, but I'm pretty sure this is accurate.
Owner to sell Etnies, S America, and 32 to Nidecker Group.
Yeah. Huh. And they're in Europe, I think. It's like three brothers, younger guys. But that's why a lot is happening over there in terms of people not on the team that have been on there for a long time.
That's interesting. That makes sense. Yeah. I wonder what the future looks like for Etnies BMX. Who just recently left? I feel like I just saw
Chase
a couple people.
Is off, and Nathan Williams, I think, posted that he is off. Maybe.
Yeah. Was Devin Smiley on it? He was.
He was. Yeah.
He left not too long ago.
That was previous to this more recent round.
Yeah.
They forgot to save us any stock, unfortunately, of the collaborative goods that we made, so we didn't get product to sell, which is a little weird. But
what do you mean?
I mean what do I
mean? It's literally what I just said, Bob. God damn it.
Yeah.
They didn't like. Was that part of the agreement? Is that just expected?
Yeah? And no, it was a part of the agreement. It was that we would have product to sell. I made it. Yeah. I mean, I really don't want to talk bad about people that we do partnerships with, but it was. It was not great. I'll just say that. And whatever, no, it's fine. You know, it happens, and that's what it is. But
they're going through stuff, so it's understandable. But still sucks.
The shoes didn't come out exactly like I wanted either, which was frustrating. But that's
elaborate.
Again, they're limited in terms of how many rounds of edits they can do, and so if you don't get it right on the first or second shot, which is the communication is really hard because you're sending an Illustrator file, and with a pattern, like I sent it at the size I want, and somehow it still didn't come out that size. It got shrunk somewhere in the communication line, and so then we had to resample it with the proper size. But then once that sample came out, the print wasn't exactly how I wanted it placed, but it was too late to resample it at that point. So it just kind of had to come out.
That's interesting as hell. Cause I was just looking at it. I looked on, I typed in, I was like, BurnSlow, cause like for some reason I didn't know about it. I think maybe this just slipped my radar, but I looked at the shoes and I was like, that's fucking sick. And then I had watched the promo, but I just never went and looked at the actual product, and it's fire. Like you got the one that's just black gum sole with a little bit of orange on the back, and then the one that's all orange. It's nice, but I could see. So you're saying what you wanted was the black stripes to be bigger, like
a little, yeah, and placed a little bit differently. Yeah, just a little tweaked a little bit, but it makes a difference in my mind. I mean,
100%. That's like, it's those little things that like go from let's just get it done, the corporate guy, let's just get it done, it's done, let's fucking sell them, versus like, no, let's make it right, you know. And there's that constant tug of war between corporate fucking quarterly sales and the art, which is a interesting thing to navigate. In the traction episode, you said that you wouldn't trade it, your life now and the pace of what BurnSlow is versus like working for somebody else, making better money, and having to report to people. Is that still the case? And if so, what is your life like?
Yes, I just don't think I'm built to be like a corporate designer. And I mean, maybe in a certain right situation. So I would probably always continue doing this like kind of for fun, even if it wasn't that, like, basically, really long story short is I'm going to make it work however I need to make it work within like how I want to live my life is how I think and feel. And so like,
well, what does that mean? Before you go on, what does that mean? Like, live your life the way that you want. What is the life that you want?
Well, I mean, in terms of like not having to answer to someone or not having to answer to a certain type of someone. Like I work for Empire and I have to answer to Tina and Tom, but Tina and Tom have nothing but respect for me and my time, and I've earned the ability to kind of like go about my business as I need to, and they're never like breathing down my neck. It's like they let me know
allow
if
you
they
to be a creative.
exactly, and at my pace, and like, and the thing is like I've proven over time, like I've been working from home for over 10 years probably, like, and I've always set, they come to me with projects they want to do, but then I always come with extra projects too, and I always set the bar and just like keep coming with more and more and more, and never like slack off to like lose their sort of the faith that they've put in me or whatever, the trust that I've earned in them or whatever.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying in terms of like not having to really answer to someone and having the flexibility to sort of be creative when the time is right and not have to find a way to stuff it into a rigid sort of schedule or whatever.
Yeah, because like as soon as you start to systematize like your creative process, then it's no longer your creative process. It's just a system that can like run without you. And in order to maintain like pulling off a deadline every other day, this just fucked. You would go to this one website, pull an idea, and then make that the thing, and you'd have no pride in it. Which is, I kind of learned that with video and working for Sabrosa. That was my hard learn this lesson, dude. Like I can't care about the videos as much as I want to because you have to keep churning and burning.
Yeah.
But I'm curious what your life is like, Adam. Like, are you you're working for Empire? You're running BurnSlow? Anything else?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have I do merch sourcing also, which takes up a good chunk of my time, where I get like pins and cups and napkins with different people's logos put on them for them, and deal with the whole process in terms of finding a supplier, figuring out the timeline, making sure they show up on time, and all that kind of stuff.
So if I wanted to hire you for Mediocre at Best to get some merch going by December 13th, what do I got to do? What goes into it? What should I do? I remember we talked about actually talking about this, so I'm excited.
Yeah, I think this is great. A great conversation. So did you have anything in mind at all, just off of the like top, that you were interested in getting made?
One thing I fucking love is tote bags. You've sent me like 4 now, and I use them all the time. It's the shit. Like I see one hanging behind you. I literally used at least 2 of them today, just going back and forth between me and my girl's house. So a tote bag would be pretty amazing. I think pins are cool. And I think
pins as in like enamel pins?
The ones that
or buttons.
Buttons.
Round
Yeah.
buttons. Cool.
What's an enameled pin?
An enamel pin is like you've got to have seen an enamel pin. They're like they're like die cut, hard enamel painted.
I like enameled pins. Let me share this so people who don't know what enameled pins are can also see. So enameled pin. Boom. This is an enameled pin, which makes sense. That could be sick as fuck. You put that on a hat. So
they look great, and they're definitely, people love them for sure.
If you were me, mediocre at best doesn't exactly fit on a pin very well. What would you do?
I mean, do you don't have any logos or anything other than the scripty?
Yeah, that's it. That's the whole logo. I found a font off of thefont.com, and then that's my whole branding for the past 10, 13, 12 years.
It's is it VX? Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
What about getting a VX pin made, like a little, and putting like mediocre at best on the little VX camera?
That's perfect. Yeah,
there you go.
That sounds like a plan. I got a VX tattooed on me, so that can work as a pin. All right,
turn your tattoo into the pin. That's
yeah, the traditional. It's like a sunset. I would show you, but I'd have to take off my pants, dude. And that's just inappropriate for podcasting, dude. No stripping. This ain't an OnlyFans. Although you could subscribe, $5 a month, become a YouTube member, dude. All right. Okay, so enameled pins, that's cool. Buttons, also cool. Tote bag. What else do we need? And then, like, ballpark, if I did all this for a premiere and it was like maybe 100 of each thing, what do you think? What's the cost? Dude, I'm losing listeners right now, but I don't care. Screw you guys. This is about me right now.
Well, it's pins are priced by size, so that will really dictate a lot of it. But if like a $2 to $3 per pin, we could probably get you in somewhere around there.
Sick.
And for 100, I think would be the minimum. And a lot of times they'll let you split the colors up, so you could do 50 with like a little red logo and 50 with a little blue logo, or not. But it's fun to kind of mix and match and sort of optimize your numbers. And then what was the other item? I forgot.
Tote bags.
Tote bags greatly vary. I mean, we can get it down to a couple bucks. They won't be great, you know. But like a cool tote could be anywhere from at 100, maybe. And I'm just pulling numbers off of my top of my head, but like $8 to $12, somewhere in that range.
Okay, cool. Huh.
Yeah.
That's fun. It's like extrapolating from just those two things. I'm like, I should come up with a budget of like $4,000 to create some merch for the premiere, and then see what we can do. That might be I don't know.
$4,000 is a lot. You definitely don't need to go that hard. I would say, but
shouldn't go that hard, honestly.
I mean, you can give me $4,000 if you want, and I can get you a lot of good stuff.
Sounds like a plan.
I would say that selling merch at events is the way to go. You're definitely a good way to move a lot of product, and people are really psyched and they want to support you, and it's a good way to get a return on a lot of your hard work, just like a little bit of an extra way to sort of get something out of that, you know?
Exactly, dude. I've been thinking about that a lot with, like, you know, do you release it as a digital download on Gumroad like DeMarcus just did with his video? You know, I paid $7 to watch DeMarcus 8-minute edit. It was fucking amazing, but I don't know if that, and it'll never translate. It's a passion project, this BMX shit, but I think that having something to sell is much better than not having. I've done it in the past where I didn't have shit to sell. So it's something that I would like to actually move forward with you with. That'd be cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, real quick, while we're also on this subject, I would like to do some merch for Kanode Knows, and it would be cool to do some little things. We can talk about that, I guess.
Yeah.
But enough about me, dude. This is your podcast episode, dude.
Sure.
Here's a fun random one I just made up. If we could only talk about one thing on this podcast, what would it be? About you or what you've done?
About me or what I've done. Oh, I thought you like any topic. I got really excited.
I like that too. Yeah, go any topic. Fuck it.
I was gonna say let's talk sports. Like,
artists
you don't know.
Themselves.
I feel like you're not a sports guy, so I don't know if that would work. But
if it's basketball, I'm in.
NBA or college or what?
NBA. Yeah.
Okay.
Big fan. I mean, the Olympics, the Dream Team, Steph Curry.
That was fun.
It was fucking awesome. And just like Anthony Edwards coming to Phoenix, destroying us. And then I'm like, all right, I'm a super Anthony Edwards fan. Like, I was mad at him while he was beating us. But it was like,
he's hard not to root for. He's so awesome.
Yeah. What about comedy? Do you fuck with stand-up comedy?
Yeah, not a lot, but yeah. I like, how can you not fuck up with stand-up comedy? I feel like, but I go through phases where I listen to a lot of it, I would say, but lately I really haven't been.
You're in you live in Austin, right?
Yeah.
Have you been to Kill Tony yet?
I have not. Isn't that like really hard to get into?
Probably. Yeah. Especially like the smaller shows, I bet. Yeah.
I think I have not been, but a bunch of my friends have been to the Mothership to see comedy shows. And I think they've seen some pretty, like, because they never really say who's going to be there. And then like some
Dave Chappelle. Boom.
Exactly. Yeah. Some wild people show up. So
the whole comedy scene moved from LA to Austin like 2022. Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's amazing. I'm stoked for Austin. Fucking Elon's moving everything there. Fucking comedy's moving there. Austin's blowing up. I'm sure that is reflected in the price of everything going up around where you are.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of like property and stuff, that's starting to flatten out a little bit.
Yeah.
But like in terms of like going out and like groceries and shit, I feel like that's kind of everywhere as far as what I've experienced over the last 6 months. Brother. Yeah.
It's kind of nuts. I bought some eggs the other day. I was like, $10? All right. Cool, dude. What the fuck?
Yeah.
We're living in turbulent times.
Nobody's buying BMX shirts, really. That's what that means.
I could see
Not
that.
really. People are, but it's definitely slowed down for sure. Especially with shops. I feel like shops are really feeling it right now.
I feel bad. Like, if you own a BMX shop right now, like, you really love, especially if it's like exclusively BMX, you have to have other shit in order to stay alive. But if it's like predominantly BMX, you really love this shit. Like, it's not a money thing. I love BurnSlow, and you will too once you go to burnslow.co and buy some stuff. They've been supporting the show for a while now, and I'm super grateful. And I legit wear BurnSlow shirts 5 days a week. BurnSlow is a rider-owned media and clothing company. They support some of the dopest riders in the game, specifically Casey Starling. He's amazing. Fuck, dude, what do you say about BurnSlow that I haven't said? You know what I'm saying? Get this shirt. It's fucking sick. Get the fruit shirt. I love the fruit shirt. I just learned from Brett Silva that they partnered up with a local nonprofit to give food away and made that fruit shirt. I didn't know why the fruit shirt was made, but it's so dope. So I wore that for weeks without knowing what it was, the story behind it, and there's an amazing story behind it. So I don't know. BurnSlow is dope, and you should go to burnslow.co and support them since they support this show. Okay, goodbye. What do you have to say, Trip? You like BurnSlow? Yeah, Dad, I fucking love it. That's cool. All right, have a good day, guys. Have a good day. What the fuck?
No, it truly, it's rough out there right now. It's such a bummer.
This is like one of the mission statements of this podcast is to kill illusions. Like, if you have illusions of grandeur, like you're in BMX, you're pretty good at riding, and you think, oh, I deserve fucking $200,000 a year. It's just like, I'm here to tell you that's probably not going to happen, brother.
It's not going to happen. It's just not. Like, it's not even probably. It's not.
Yeah, I can think of, like, I think probably Billy Perry and Anthony Panza, their YouTube revenue, like maybe 1 year at their peak, probably reached those kind of numbers. But aside from that, dude, maybe Nigel.
And that's like, is it all BMX? I've never watched that stuff. Is it all BMX content, or is it
like Billy and Anthony did just BMX videos and like vlogs. It's a little mixture of like personality plus BMX, but it's the money is not coming from the BMX industry. It's coming from,
there you go,
and that's it.
Yeah.
I don't know. What, if you don't mind me asking, you worked at Colt, what, and you were a very great graphic designer. What was the max that you were paid as a salary for being a graphic designer?
2,500 a month.
Damn, that's pretty good, right? Wait, 12 times 2,500. What does that equal? 30 grand a year? 12 times 2,500. 12
30, yeah.
2,500. Boom. Damn, that's fucking awesome. Good for you. I was a full-time videographer at Sabrosa. I don't know the monthly. It was 19 grand a year. Ronnie negotiated me from 24 to 19. I asked for 24 and he's like, man, I don't know. And he put me down to 19. And thinking back, I'm like, motherfucker, I got.
Well, I started out at 15. Well, I started out for free, first of all. And it was my logo and my artwork which was, whatever. But
if you could go back in time, would you charge to use that logo, knowing what you know now?
No, I mean, I protected my logo throughout, so I it was fine in the end. But we had a verbal handshake agreement, and as time went on, it was like that sort of just eroded into like, oh, I kind of forgot about that. I don't really remember what that agreement was. Oh, kind of a deal. And it's like, okay, whatever. But so I started out not getting paid at all, and that went on for maybe 6 months, the first 6 months of the company. And Robbie sent me his used laptop and like 2 or 3 double XL shirts that he had gotten. And it was like a package he sent me as a thank you for helping him start the company. And it was really weird. But, and then, so I got bumped to, I started out at 1,500, and I was at 1,500 for probably 5 years, $1,500 a month. Something like that.
To put in perspective, is pretty much on par as like a top pro writer.
Yeah.
Top, but that's
at the time, that's what the pro writers were getting paid. Right. I was getting paid just the same salary that they were getting paid at the time at Colt.
Right.
Yeah.
It's hard to say like whether that's right, wrong. Like it is what it is, right? I can imagine I feel a little bit like, oh fuck, I should have stood up for myself and I demanded more, but I loved it. So there's that, and there's the travel, and there's the free stuff, so that it kind of balanced out. But it's just like, it's such a weird feeling I have about it. I'm just like, I had my dream job, but it was poverty level. It's just like, fuck, dude,
I got up to 2,500, and I was only there for maybe a year and a half. And then I negotiated a reduced salary with reduced responsibilities because I was starting BurnSlow. And that all, I don't even remember where I was going with that, but that like all blew up really quickly after that. It just became, for me, it wasn't even like, it was frustrating, the money stuff for sure. But it was like more that I was told over and over, like, yeah, we're gonna make the company how you want it. We know like how it's going right now isn't exactly what you envision, but once we get it right, I'm gonna like do it your way. I promise. And I would get told that over and over and over. And eventually I was like, I can't fucking take this anymore. I'm like, it's never gonna change. That's just
you care too much.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm like very passionate about the things that I do and make. So for sure.
At what point of Colt's career was it most close to what you envisioned? I imagine towards the beginning.
No. Right before, like, it almost all came together when It's Later Than You Think came out. Like, we kind of started to get it together, but it still had so many cracks. And then when that video came out, it was pretty disappointing for me because I had worked with Vish on a lot of it. And then I left to come home. I flew to California, stayed in Vish's apartment for like a week or so. I can't remember. We worked together, and it was like his video and he was editing, but I was like editing, art directing. Yeah. Providing a lot of B-roll, all that kind of stuff. And we had hashed it out, and I left, And then like 2 weeks later, so I flew back out to California to watch the premiere, and it was like just totally different. Like everything had gotten changed from what we had worked on, and I had no warning. And from there, that was kind of just like, I was like, I kind of can't take this anymore.
That
like
sucks
I'm a little,
yeah.
And so that's part of that is like, that's just how Vish knows how to work. He didn't do it maliciously, like at all. Vish is not like a mean person at all. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
But that's just the way he edits is he would tell me that he would like make himself sick, like waiting till the very last minute, staying up way too late and just like kind of tweaking on it. And that's just what happened. Like,
he does do that. Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, to me, it felt disrespectful because I had put a lot of time and effort and thought into it, and we had like worked through it. And I would have given me a warning and like send me in advance.
Yeah, at least he didn't finish. Homie warning. Yeah,
he didn't finish editing it until like right up. It was like, I think, exporting while he was at the clubhouse and the video was about to start. So
right.
That's part of the reason.
I can totally empathize with both sides, honestly. Like, no shade on Vish at all, but also
sure.
Maybe towards the beginning of changing all those things, I might have, but I don't know. Maybe I would have thought, I'm coming back to Adam shit, so it's fine. Like, how drastically different was it? Like, what type of B-roll are you talking about?
Oh, it was like a lot of it was the music changing, which is like, that was a lot of my input.
A huge part,
for a lot of the cult videos. Before that was like, I had a heavy hand in helping pick the music, and so yeah, to like watch stuff and for the soundtrack to be off is like, ooh, and like to not like the songs that go in is like, yeah, that is painful.
Yeah, that hurts.
And just there were some things along those lines, I would say. But again, like, he was ultimately in charge, and he did what he did.
Yeah.
Did you see the
situation? Yeah.
Did you see the animation at the beginning? Have you ever seen that before? Do you remember that?
If it's later than you think, is it the black on white outline type?
It's like the hourglass animation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I made all of that frame by frame. It took so long.
I was gonna ask you because like your BurnSlow animated intro is phenomenal, and I'm like, this is definitely like frame by frame custom shit, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's all frame by frame.
It's no existing thing.
No After Effects or any of that type of stuff.
It's amazing because I was watching through BurnSlow's YouTube prior to this. I've watched everything when it comes out, but just refreshing, and it's amazing the impact that a proper motion graphic intro and the first sounds that you hear affect how you perceive the rest of the shit. Like it's
fun, right?
It's amazing, and it's a beautiful touch, and the people who care about that, you go unnoticed. Like, people just, that's almost subliminal shit. Like, that's not common for people to be like, oh, I want to know who did that, but as a videographer and editor, I'm like, that's phenomenal. The first 2 seconds, I'm like, this is a great video. The rest of the filming and editing, I'm like, nah, but the fucking, great. Wow. So I'm curious. You mentioned the music because that's also a very critical part, almost more important than the writing. Just kidding. I think the writing's most important, and then the music, and then no. Dude, how would you rank it?
Okay,
writing,
so
editing?
Okay, listen. I agree with you. But think about this. Like, a good song can make mediocre writing great, and a bad song can make incredible writing awful.
Yeah.
Ruin what could.
So would you put music above writing as far as importance? Yeah.
I would, yeah.
You're a real artsy fuck, aren't you? Me too, dude. I love it.
Do you want to listen to a terrible song? I mean, I guess you just mute it, but still, that sucks. Yeah.
It's almost like an acquired taste. There's some writers that, like, I don't necessarily love the music, but I love their writing so much that and that's rare, like, to find writing where it's like, I'm not going to turn it off if I hate the song. So I see your point. Maybe we can go, I'll meet you in the middle, dude. 50-50, music and writing.
Fair enough. Yeah. I mean, I would definitely agree there's got to be a marriage there.
It's
for
super
sure.
important. The amount of hours that I spent agonizing over music for videos when I was producing BMX videos all the time, like, that is, and the way that people edit to it, I think, is also important. Like, if you're not,
oh yeah, absolutely,
if you're not hitting on the hitting parts of the song, like somebody lands on like the or whatever, like that makes it a lot. And there's also the opposite, like where you just put a timeline together and then slap a song on. There's something pretty artsy about that.
That's kind of my style of editing, honestly.
I noticed when I was watching. I don't know. Do you edit all the shit that's on BurnSlow?
I've edited some, but I would say Devin's probably edited more. Devin Hutchins.
Yeah. You can. It's like it's a real feeling thing for me. If there's certain shit where I'm just like, oh, I'm feeling it, you know, like some cum noises watching a BMX video. And the rest of it, you're just like ingesting some good writing and a cool soundtrack, and that's a nice experience, but it's not the same as like, yeah. So you mentioned you did the music for a bunch of cult stuff, or like had a big input. So like, what's the first one? What's hold on. Not talk is cheap. It's before that. Hold on, Bob? What's the first cult video, dude? Wow.
Let him talk.
I had it with Les. Let him talk. How much?
Can we pause so I can grab another beer really quick?
Yeah, fuck yeah. I'm gonna take a piss too. And then we'll come back on Let 'em Talk music. Welcome back to Dr. Phil Live with Adam L. Roye. So now that we got a candle, we got another beer. Cult videos at the beginning, Let 'em Talk. What's your musical influence on that? Because that soundtrack is phenomenal. Were you working hand in hand with Navaz?
No. And Navaz does not let anybody in whenever he's doing his thing. I have some really funny stories about that, actually. I don't know if they're mine to tell, maybe. But
please just share one and we can determine after the fact.
Navaz, Chase went to Philly to film with Navaz, and Ryan Navazio would not leave his room. Just wouldn't leave his room.
Was he editing?
I guess so. I don't know. Wouldn't leave his room. Don't really know what he was doing in there.
I remember being in a house with him on a trip. I forget what trip, maybe a Phoenix cult trip or something, but Navaz is a fucking nerd about camera stuff, and I love it. He's just all about it.
Phoenix cult trip? What was that?
I don't know, dude. It might not have been that. Something that Navaz was working on.
The first
I legitimately don't remember.
The first cult trip we ever went on, we went there.
Yeah, because you guys have clips. Let 'em Talk in Phoenix, Dak Park. Chase D.
Were you there for that?
Burned in my brain. I was not there. Dakota's famous manual to hanger. No, was not there. I wonder where I was during that time. I feel like 2010. I think I was just still, I don't know, earning my stripes. I didn't know anybody. Fucking type shit.
What year did you start running?
I started in 2006, and 2010 I was in California for my first like big deal. My first big deal thing was in 2008. I got sponsored by GT off of a fluke, some web video contest, and then
sick.
They took me to Australia as my first trip ever. Stayed at Dave Delaway's house, worked with Cosman. It's fucking nuts.
I heard you talking about that in one of your podcasts. It's really funny.
Wild.
It's awesome.
This episode is brought to you by Dance Comp. Dance Comp is the world's largest BMX mail order, and you should order your stuff there. I was checking it out, looking at this Colt chain. It's a pretty nice chain for half the price of some other chains. No shade. I wonder what the difference is. $60, $30. I digress. Dance Comp is where you should buy your next parts that you need, and you should use promo code Kanode to get 15% off. Thank you, Dance Comp. Look at this shirt, dude. Get the hell out of here. All right, back to the show. Wildly lucky, because I didn't win the contest. I lost, and then they went through the losers, and they were like, we like this guy. And that
crazy.
Super crazy. And then I went out to Long Beach and I stayed with Adam 22 for, I don't know, 20 days or something, and filmed some things.
How was that?
Adam was super nice and super welcoming, and like a genuinely what I would perceive as a good dude. Like, I did my research for the episode with him, and I was just like, oh my God, this is a monster. But I know him personally, and I'm like, or I knew him personally, and I was like, he's a great guy comparatively. Like, Chris Long bullied the fuck out of me. Rich was just a recluse. He was staying at the apartment. Rich Hurst was just like, I don't know if he was doing acid and shit, but he was like in his room constantly. So I never really saw him. I saw him a couple times smoking a cig or two. I met Catfish. I met Jake Seeley. Like, that was like, you're in it now, Bob. And so I met those boys. And then, I don't know, I got on Stranger eventually, put Ballman on there. And just kind of did my Arizona thing until the Sabrosa years. It's kind of crazy to think back, actually. Like I do these podcasts and I'm like, why are you talking to me? I'm nobody. And then I actually talk about it. I'm like, I've done some stuff. That's fine.
You've done some stuff.
Yeah, we've done some things.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wasn't around when Colt was in town, but how much, like, what was the process? Like Navazio made Let Him Talk. What was, and you say like he wouldn't let you in on music influence. What's been your music?
No. As far as editing, like we all had input. So the writers all had input on what songs they would ride to, and I was showing a lot of the writers' music. Is how that goes down. Basically,
subliminal.
Yeah, well, yeah, and like being like, yo, you should ride to this. Not even subliminal. Like, yo, this is a sick song. This is a sick song. What do you think about this one? And just suggesting the songs for them, and then them going to him and being like, yo, this is the song I want to ride to. And him being like, yeah, this is a cool song. Let's do it. Like that's how it would. That would be the chain.
Yeah. So like, which song do you think never would have happened without your input?
I wouldn't take
that's
credit
a bold
for
one
any,
to say. I phrased that wrong, dude. Just hit me with a favorite.
I mean, I helped Chase. I've pretty much helped Chase pick most of his songs for cult stuff, not for other stuff. And there was the one song he picked, we both had it on a playlist, and we only had a few songs on. We both made a playlist with a couple songs, maybe 3 or 4, and we both put the same song. It was the Stone Roses, I Want to Be Adored. And I was like, oh, dude, we both thought this at the same time. This is definitely the one. And yeah.
Which video is that?
I don't remember, man. I can't remember what songs that I've used in videos, to be honest with you. So
Hawk's Nest? No, because that was just recent.
No, it's older.
Yeah.
Maybe the most recent cult video, I want to say. It's Later Than You Think, possibly.
Yeah. What do you think about full lengths in BMX? Well, actually, I want to get another answer for music. I'm trying to think of one that I know in my head that is kind of super influenced by you.
The first promo. Remember that?
The first cult promo?
Yeah, the very first promo.
Oh, wow. It doesn't even come up on Google if you typed first one. OG cult promo.
Cult video 2010. Maybe look that up. Cult Crew 2010. I think that's right.
Cult Crew 2010 is what I'll look up. Sorry, audio listeners.
Weird. Oh man, we got to find that video. It's so good.
Motherfuck. Was it on Vimeo or something, dude? I'm not seeing.
Probably.
I got it on YouTube. Share this tab instead. You guys might as well come along with me for the cult.
The problem is they use that 2010 till the end hashtag on everything.
Oh yeah, I remember this shit, dude.
There you go.
Oh my god. Wait,
remember
if I play
song?
the music, it's not gonna. If I play it, then we can't put it out as a podcast, man.
Oh, gotcha. Can't you play 15 seconds? You can play 10 seconds
with us.
Yes. Oh my god, I haven't watched this in so long.
So maybe watch that when you're done.
That's phenomenal. I will absolutely watch that when we're done.
And so we use that song, and then in the video, I think in the first full length we put out, Let 'Em Talk, we used the Starlito, who's a rapper. He did a remix of that song, and I always had envisioned using a song in a promo and then using a remix in a full length, and that was the time we got to make that happen. And I thought that was this kind of cool tie-in or whatever.
That's huge. You know who did that? Do you follow skate videos?
Mm-hmm.
A Happy Medium. They're from here, and I don't know if you've heard of it. A Happy Medium. It's phenomenal. But
is that
Chase Buster and Hunter O'Shea and Chase Hawk. Why do I keep saying Chase Hawk? It's Jaws Hamoki and John Mata and Jeff Stevens and
John Mata's so sick.
So sick. But the first ever promo for A Happy Medium, they recently used as the section for John Mata in A Happy Medium 5. And I was like, fucking
that's awesome.
Gorgeous. Yeah. So sick.
I love the tie-in.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And that's the type of shit that like normal people don't appreciate. You have to be really in it to be like, oh, I love it.
Well, so that's a point that I think is we're talking about is like why some of the best creatives end up leaving because of the, like, you think of like a Joe Simon, for example, who's like, he's so talented and like there's no like support for that. And it's the most like frustrating sort of aspect of it, I feel like, to be honest with you.
And I
Spike
don't know
Jones.
what you could do. Like, I don't know how to fix that other than like BMX becoming way more popular with way more money to the point where you can make a normal living doing what we do in BMX. Because I came to that realization years ago. I was just like, if I'm going to do anything BMX, it's got to just be for fun and take a little paycheck here and there when you can. But as far as like the future and like raising a family and shit, like BMX it's a passion project. It's not a career, which is a bummer. I don't know. I think I've asked people like, what would you do to fix that? But there's nothing you can do to fix it. It's just the way of the world.
No one single person could like fix something like that. But I think you can look back at when BMX was at its like peak in terms of popularity and what created that. I think, I could be wrong, but I think it coincides with the movie E.T. and like how that like put the BMX bike into sort of like the modern like idea of like, oh, this is cool, and now in the 80s. And I feel like, I could be wrong, but I feel like that really like launched it into like peak. And so that's what it takes, is like some weird
pop
sort
culture
of
phenomenon that is targeted towards people outside of BMX but includes BMX.
Stranger Things almost did that, I feel
like. I could say that's a great example. I watched that and that made it cool. I wonder if that impacted BMX sales. When did Stranger Things come out?
That was a while ago, wasn't it? But yeah, that's again, and that's that t-shirt we talked about earlier that I just made with the old bike on it. It's like that idea of like, that's why I'm coming back to that.
And I don't know, because like along with the fact that it's no longer in pop culture things as much, the fact like E.T. couldn't happen now. It would just be a YouTube video that did well. Like the media landscape has changed so much that it has to be a different type of campaign. Imagine if it was intentional. There was like somebody like, I want to make BMX popular. I heard this feature length film is coming out. Let's make somebody run across the moon.
There is one of the sultans in, I can't remember, somewhere in the Middle East, I believe, someone with a lot of money is a BMXer and buys BMX parts from Empire. So there is a guy out there who could make it happen. Yes.
Sick.
Like a guy who is in charge of a whole entire country is into BMX. That is true.
And he buys from Empire? What's the shipping cost?
It doesn't matter, dude. It's
twice the cost of the goods. Yeah, that's amazing.
It's all,
I take your whole stock.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you have? I will take it. Holy shit. That's a cool segue. Empire BMX. You have a long history with them. I don't think you talked about the origins of that in your Traction interview. Shout out, Mike. What's the beginnings of you working with Empire? What was your interactions? And also, by the way, real quick, how old are you?
I just turned 39.
Nice.
So I was born in 1985.
39. Good for you. Okay. How'd you meet Empire and how'd you get involved with them? Because they've been around as long as anybody can remember, right?
Yeah. So Tina and Tom worked at a shop called Trend Bike Source in Austin when I started riding. And my mom would drive me down there. And essentially, my mom just asked Tina if I could have a job one day. I was so embarrassed, but she was like, "Can my son have a job here?" And Tina was like, "Sure." And so I've been working there since I was 16 years old. Well, so I started working there when I was 16. And then Tina and Tom attempted to buy Trend from the then owners. They weren't the owners. They just ran it, everything. And the owners didn't really want to sell to them. So we all sort of quit in solidarity. and because the owners were totally checked out. They had no involvement in the company at all. Didn't know anything about bikes or BMX. They had looked at it as an investment opportunity. Blah 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 blah. So we were all like, yeah, this should be their thing. So we all quit. I got a job at the mall skate shop for a little bit, and then worked construction for a little bit. And in the meantime, they started Empire. And then once they kind of got off the ground and needed employees, I got a job working retail at Empire. And I don't remember what year that was, but if I had to guess, probably 2005, something like that. And so I've been working there since then.
Yeah. 18 years strong. Holy shit. 19. Where's my maths? So when you say retail, are you working on bikes or just selling bikes, front of store? I worked at a bike shop. I sucked so bad at working on bikes that they were like, you just go be the salesman. And I worked bikes. But
whenever I worked retail at Empire, it was a lot of answering phones, taking mail order calls at the time. But I would have to sit up front.
That was early, huh? The mail order was big.
When you would have to, absolutely, you would have to call and place the order. Like we had a sheet, and I would physically write out whatever they would order. I'd have to add it up with a calculator, all that kind of stuff.
And back then, that was high tech. Sorry to tangent, but that was new shit to like do a mail order back then. I remember.
And then I would build a lot of wheels. We did they still do so many wheels, and that was a big part of it. Would be just sitting there and building the wheels, and then Tom does all of the like truing and finalizing them. He's the expert at that.
Art, dude. Yeah,
he's the best.
That's sick.
Yeah, and then I would do post office trips, which would be we did a lot of international orders at the time. I think they still do. I'm not as involved in all that stuff, so I'm not exactly sure what it looks like.
For each sale, are you going in and filling out that form?
I did at the time, yeah. Wow. Back then, it used to be you would have to fill out forms for each country and stuff. And I think Tom would have them filled out for the most part, but I would have to bring them all to the counter one by one and have them like go through. Yeah. And the people at the post office did not like us because we would have 20 huge, heavy boxes every day on a dolly. I have so many photos of that. I would go to the downtown post office and stand in line, and I had like the first iPhone, and I have just funny photos of freaks in line at the post office going back for years.
That's amazing.
And then ringing people up. But yeah, that was a little bit of
that's retail. A good job, man. That and I don't know, is that at this point, what are you then? If I'm 34 right now and you're 39, you're 5 years ahead. So you were like 20 years old in 2005. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Are you like, fuck, there's so much to talk about. So you worked at Empire, but I'm curious about like where you're at in your writing career at this point. Like if you're 20 years old, writing career, but like what type of writing are you doing? I couldn't find any writing footage of you. Maybe I just didn't look hard enough.
20-inch bike club video.
20-inch bike.
Yeah, Westlake 20-inch bike club video.
Westlake. 20-inch bike club, Westlake. I don't know. Whatever. Tell me about it. Describe it to me.
Oh, I mean, it's not good. It's bad. It's on the BMX movie database, I believe. But I mean, at that point, I was like, no pegs, just riding like kind of fast and just like jumping over stuff, really, and It was one of two type of writing. If I had to guess based on like knowing you, I would be like, you're either low and slow, 4-pegged, doing cool grinds, crooks and smiths, or pegless going fast and BMX as fuck type shit. And you're BMX as fuck. That's cool. Yeah, I liked a real simple bike, straight cable, no pegs, 3/8 axles, that kind of stuff.
On the back too?
I did for a little while, yeah. I had like little inserts or whatever. Yeah.
Sick. Damn, I need to watch this video. What the fuck? Devin Hutchins.
Devin's part is legitimately good in there. Devin is so good at writing.
Yeah, and you got the first part.
Definitely not good at writing, but
is it like a DVD?
We did have maybe, I don't remember.
Yeah, it says DVD USA from what year? It doesn't say the year.
2 or 3 probably.
Wow. All right, I'm gonna put it on mute. Let's do this. Let's freaking do this. Let's watch some Adam Roye shit, boys.
Oh, we really don't have to do that.
I know it's the worst, huh? Your shit on here. If you say no, but also just give me a minute. We can watch the first second, first little bit, and look at this. Look at that art direction. I like that.
I think Devin did a lot of that stuff. I'm pretty sure he edited all of this.
Look at this guy. You fucked your face up, brother.
I dropped in on the Big Bowl in Albuquerque. Have you ridden that park? I'm sure you have.
Yeah, probably.
The main downtown Albuquerque park. When we were in high school, we took a road trip there, and I fell on my face so bad.
There it is.
Yeah.
I think everybody who rides BMX has had some sort of face injury, and then the rest. Oh, dude, you just posted about this spot, actually.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. What did Chase Hawk do? An air or something on it?
He I think he ice picked the top of it. There's like those slats at the top.
Yeah.
There's a little four peg.
Yeah, dude. You're actually both. You're all the above. Just an all around BMX person. Classic 2003 BMX style right here.
Ugh.
Is he speeding the clip up too? I feel like he sped the clip up. All right, well, it's fine.
I did the manual, the Robbie Morales manual.
Is that the Robbie Morales manual?
Yeah, he did it in Road Fools 1.
Nice. Fucking it. So it's kind of even. He took the magazine. You can take the
there you go. Yeah, we're even now. All good.
What are some of your there's the the whatever feeling it is after working for them and moving on, but what's one of your best memories of being with Colt and of Robbie?
Oh, I mean, I have a sour taste in my mouth about Robbie because, again, like he says things and doesn't. It's not that he doesn't intend. He doesn't follow through. He wants to follow through with all of these things, but he doesn't actually intend to. He doesn't make. I don't know, whatever. Like it's just soured. So like all of the moments are like looking back. I know he's just saying what I want to hear, kind of navigating me in a way to like make me happy in the moment. So it kind of it tainted a lot of it, I would say. But traveling was incredible for sure. I have like nothing but great memories. I'm disappointed in how a lot of people that I was friends with there treated me like at the end, but I mean, whatever. That's they're to live with. So
it's like, what can you do? Excuse me. Did you ever get to go international?
Yeah, we did a trip to England and Scotland that was incredible. That and Hawaii were the two best trips, I would say.
Damn, I forgot. Colt did Hawaii. That was fire.
Yeah, it was incredible.
That's like if you get the hookup to travel with a bike company, you want it to be like Australia, Hawaii, fucking Barcelona. I got to go to Barcelona and Australia.
That's incredible.
It's ridiculous. So when I talked to, you were mentioning on the other podcast, like explaining BMX to normies, and then you realize how small it is. Like when I tell people that I got sponsored and taken to Australia and Barcelona, they're like, "You're so cool, dude." It's the best.
That's awesome, man.
How do you describe your experience in BMX to normals? Like that's something that I've dealt with over the years of being in college and navigating the professional world. People are so enthused by it, but it's an interesting thing to try and describe. I'm like, yeah, so we just, ride our bikes and you've seen those rails and ledges on the street. Like, how do you describe?
I just say it's like skateboarding.
That could cover it. I'm going to steal that. That's good.
It's like, I work with, it's like BMX. It's just like skateboarding, but on bikes. It's like how I say it every time.
Smart and succinct. Fucking genius, brother. It takes a really smart person to be able to explain something in a super simple way to make you understand it.
Nice. I like that.
All right. So speaking of smart shit, what the fuck is HHRMMWW? At the beginning of the BurnSlow videos, it says produced or whatever by HHR.
Those are last names of everybody involved. And there was an M for Morales, but we kicked his ass out. So there's no.
So now it's just HHRMW.
Something
Is there
like
one
that,
M? Yeah.
I think
so
what's
it now? What's the acronym now? That makes so much sense.
I got rid of the M, and I think I added 2 W's because there technically are 2 W's, Williams and Williams.
Cool.
But it's supposed to look. I forget what it looks like, but it's like it's an anagram or something like that. Maybe.
Yeah, it looks good. I'm like, I don't care what it means. It looks cool.
Well, now you know.
Yeah, that's a cool Easter egg. I do like the little things. So MMXX3, that's 2023.
Yeah, so I've been putting the year on the shirt since I think I started doing it in 2008, 2007 or 8, like on Empire shirts. So if you go back and look at Empire shirts from back then, they all have a year on them. I would say 95% of the shirts we've done. And that's something I took from shirts in the 90s and the 80s. That was because it was all about licensing. And so they would have the copyright so you could see who the design belonged to, essentially. And I always loved that it showed exactly the year. They gave that reference of a time frame, which I think is like explains so much about something if you can know like the time frame of when they came out. Yeah, I think that is just fascinating. So I started doing that from like a really young age, for sure.
It's interesting because like it feels not that interesting when it's like the year of, but
sure,
10 years from now, you look at the shirt and you're like, oh yeah, and
it's forward thinking.
Way more. Sure, It is super like delayed gratification type shit. All right, these are random notes that I was taking while I was watching some videos of BurnSlow and stuff. But first of all, who's your favorite Texas biker? Current, not of all time.
Currently, it's got to be Brett Silva, I would say. He's a Texas resident. But he just like his style of riding is like my favorite, I would say.
And compound that with just the best fucking guy. Like,
oh, it does not get any better. Like humans, they don't make them any better than that.
For real.
Truly. They really don't. He's
so humble.
He's not perfect because nobody's perfect, and that's what's so beautiful about him is he's just the most beautifully composed person ever.
Yeah. I'm really stoked. Like I got to talk to him and learn about his kind of past and how long he's been just sober and how he's killing it and all that.
He's great.
Yeah.
I can count on him. And that's not something you can say about a lot of people.
I know, right? Yeah. He is like stand-up all-American Texas boy. I love it.
That's right.
Just an honest man with a wife and fucking beyond unbelievable talent. It's crazy how good he is. Except his bunny hops. Except his bunny hops, he's bow-legged, you know?
Is he?
Just kidding, Brett. There's something about the way he tucks where his knees.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
you know, it's just it's power and control. But I was like, wait, is that bow-legged? Is that a bad thing? No, Brett, I'm kidding. It's not a bad thing. It's balance and it's fucking power.
I love everything about Brett. So
me too. Me fucking too. Watching him, I got to be at Rincon when he did the 5 attempts and the 3 tables, dude. That was something else. That was once in a lifetime. What's it like working with Bob Sherbo?
I love Bob. Bob's I mean, Bob, so Bob filmed our first promo. I'm assuming that's what you're referencing. And the whole time Bob is like kind of groaning and moaning and telling us that he's never making another fucking bike video ever again. And we were all just laughing and like having the best time. He's Bob's the best. He doesn't live in Austin anymore. He was living here for quite a while. I think he was here for 10-ish years, something along those lines, but he just moved back to Jersey. But he's great. He let me help edit a little bit. Like I got to sit there while he edited the video. And so that was great. Like it came out how I wanted it to.
That's great.
And yeah, it was really fun. Like it was like us sitting in his house and he's like smoking cigs inside and drinking 40s, and there's like 10 people around us in the kitchen screaming. And
damn, dude, that's such a good time. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow, I've never been more jealous of anything. Just sit and smoke cigs and drink 40s with Bob and Edit. That's fucking amazing.
Incredible.
That's a once in a lifetime thing. Holy fuck. Shout out Bob Scherbo. Let's keep it BMX related. Let's see. More BMX. I have so many non-BMX questions. We talked about Etnies. What was the 100x? Like, this isn't even BMX. No, hold on. All right. Who's gonna be? This is me talking BMX stuff because BurnSlow is fucking awesome, and it feels like it's been a minute since a BurnSlow video came out. Is there anything?
It has. Yeah. No, it's been a minute.
And I was thinking about it kind of almost empathetically, like run a company, make promos, but like people don't realize how much goes into like making a good promo video. Like it's coordinating people over an extended period of time, making sure the writing's good, putting it together. Like it's a lot.
If you've never done anything like what it takes to get a t-shirt printed or to make a promo or any of that stuff, I promise you have no idea what it takes.
It's so
like
much.
It can be broken down into a set of like simple tasks, but that doesn't mean that it is like this simple or easy thing to accomplish. It is always, and especially if you want things to come out a certain way. Like if you are meticulous, it requires like a doggedness and like a relentlessness, and you really have to stay on top of people. There's only so much you can do yourself, and even like then if you do all of it yourself, you just wear yourself out over time. There's only so much one person can do, and then you're relying on other people, and a lot of times that requires money. And even if it doesn't, like money is the ultimate like motivator as far as like getting things done. So you're either like trying to find money to make things happen or trying to find another way to motivate someone and like make things even and square and fair, of course. And it's like, it's so much. I'm always trying to find a way to like get money into the riders' hands when we do these projects. And so like when we do a project, I always offer them, I say, you film a promo for us, and then we put out a line with it. And then I give them, we usually come to an agreement of something like around $200 a month for the 3 or 4 months after the clothing comes out for filming the promo. So they're seeing a little bit of the sales basically.
Yeah. And how many riders would that work out to? Like, and have you done that model with the previous promo?
I've done it with every promo we've ever made.
Fuck yeah.
If there's a featured
rider in the video is hitting 200.
The featured riders, yeah. If it's like, if they're like, we've done a couple, like we've worked with a rider and then we give them money. Like that's how it's always been. That's like our little setup or whatever.
And that obviously is working out with BurnSlow. Like you're making enough to be able to pay that as a smaller percentage of the total profit type thing.
Yeah, it works. I don't make any money off of it. I've never paid myself. I've paid out the other owners here and there, and I've paid out the riders, and then I try and pay Devin for his work when I can here and there, but he's also an owner, so he's like, willing to sort of do things like for sweat equity, more or less. Right. Yeah. But yeah,
that's really interesting that you've never paid yourself from BurnSlow.
No, never. I've been
get the fuck out of here. That's awesome.
Is it? It doesn't sound awesome to me.
It can be awesome. It could be stupid, but I think it's awesome in the sense of like maybe someday BurnSlow Entertainment Co. is something where you look back and you're like, yeah, for the first 5 years I didn't pay myself.
Yeah, I mean so when I put this idea together, and I came to Tina and Tom at Empire and to the other people, and I came to them with a business plan as if it was an investment. And it's like, here's
As if it was an investment. Okay, is it not?
No, I mean it is, but so
you took it serious and gave a business plan. That's good.
Yeah,
I hear you, but it's also a very funny sentence to say as if
I
it was
put
an
it.
investment.
I guess I created terms of how I would like their investment to pay out and all of those things. Like it wasn't just like you pay in and you get an ownership. That's what I'm trying to say. Here is potential for growth. Here is my model for growth and all of those things. That's what I'm trying to say.
I know. I'm sorry for laughing. It's just a funny way to phrase it.
Dude, I don't work in reselling house world or whatever. I don't know about that bullshit.
No, but I mean, obviously it should be and it is an investment. And that's a weird dichotomy of like, this is like passion project. I want to take it at my pace and I want to do my artistic integrity. But at the same time, like you have investors and you want to make it, but they're your homies at the same time. So there's a nice kind of medium there. If there was like a blood hungry investor, that would kind of be a nightmare.
It would be over.
I want an ROI in 2 years. And she's like, I don't know if that's going to happen, but can I ask? Like, I can ask, but you don't have to answer. What did it take from your investors to get, what was the cost to get BurnSlow off the ground?
I think we started with around 20 to 30 grand, somewhere around there.
Nice. Yeah.
Like people chipped in around 5,000, something along those lines.
Cool.
So nothing.
Like, if you're doing okay in like life and business, like that's a really cool side project to be involved in. That's awesome.
Yeah. And I think everyone that's involved has a little something different to gain from it in terms of like, I think Aaron really likes it because it makes him still feel connected to BMX, and he loves that and always wants to have that, and it's a way for him to still feel that. And
He's the most grown-up little kid I've ever met. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean that's all the BMX kids, but
yeah.
And then it's like Chase is like he wants his own brand and his own company, and he's sort of always has wanted that. So it's his way to start trying to explore that. And then it's an avenue to give Devin a place to like work on the kind of creative projects that he wants to, which is the same for me. And yeah, and Tina and Tom just love to support us. So,
dude, what a perfect, that feels so effortless. Like that's a perfect match for everybody. What does everybody bring to the table? You mentioned in the other podcast that Aaron and Chase kind of bring a marketing aspect to it. Devin, obviously production. Tina and Tom, maybe distribution. I just answered my own question. All right. And you bring the art.
Check.
Yep. Check. All right, cool. Good question. Where were we? What was the question before that? You remember? Professional podcaster, my ass. In the other episode, you mentioned being a creative director, and I'm curious about that because when I asked you like what all you have going on, and you talked about sourcing merch for people, that's not so much creative direction. Did you have a creative director outside job previously?
No, I did. I've only given myself that title when I worked at Colt just to justify my salary, essentially.
It's a weird title. That's what I wanted to ask about. It's just like, the fuck do you think creative director is? I get it. And it's just like, because I've been around creative directors to the point where I'm just like, you're just like an overly confident person and you know what you want.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah, you're telling pushover people what to do, and that's like what your value is. I'm like,
I think it's somebody with a strong vision that can speak on why they think, like why they have that specific vision and why it will be successful. And it involves like an understanding of like the creative arts in general. Like you kind of know how all of these things work in different ways so that you can speak on it with a little bit of authority. Like just how to use a camera, how the camera like a shot could look, and like just sort of suggesting all of those things.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's it almost like infuriates me because there is no right answer. It's just somebody with a strong opinion. Like you are not correct, but you are strongly opinionated. So let's go with you, and I'll pay you for your opinion. It's a fucking
you are correct in your vision. That's the thing. Like if they have if you want to create a certain outcome, it's like if you want to end up at 2, then you need 1 and 1, or you need a half and 1 and a half. Like there is a correct way to get there, but again, that's a person's opinion as far as like what they would like to see. So
I see that. That's a good way to put it, because the like outcome is subjective, but if you decide on an outcome, then there is a correct way to get there based on that person's outcome. Like,
yes,
it's an interesting world because you meet like douchebags that are creative directors, and you're like, how the fuck are you like making this much money with just a strong opinion? I'm like, fuck, you have no talent. I hate you. Shit.
Do you really think there's nothing original? You said that to me earlier. I was curious.
Yeah, we were talking about, what were we talking about?
Videos, not being rip-off like style videos. When
I still haven't watched it, but I'm excited to watch that skate video that you said that this iconic BMX video is a rip-off of. Like, how blatant is it? Is it bad?
I mean, yeah. So, but there's like, so I went back earlier today and like scrolled through both of them, and like at the time I definitely had a harder microscope on the situation, but that's because the person that made that BMX video was doing that a lot at the time. Like a lot was finding skateboarding references and just straight ripping them. Like,
can I say who it is?
You can do whatever you want. Yeah, absolutely.
Rich Hirsch. We were talking about, so you sent me a song. Dun, 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 dun. I think that was the song. It could be a different one.
But we can't. No, you can't say it yet because I haven't put the video out yet.
Is that not the song? That's not the one.
No, it's a different one.
Okay, different song that's in Low Tech Vancouver, and I tried texting like, yes, it's been done, but it was a cover, right? It was a
cover, and this original is like one of the most iconic songs.
Yeah. So Low Tech Vancouver, and like, dude, I was 16 or super impressionable when that came out, and I instantly put Rich on like genius level creative person because of that. I was like, oh my god, this is because I thought everything was original. But then as you get older, like you realize everything's just taking something from here, and there's a real line.
You did a something from here and a something from there.
Right.
The difference here is all from this one thing, and this one thing is like very adjacent. What did I just say? It's like BMX but on a skateboard. It's like on bikes but on a skateboard. It's the most adjacent fucking thing we have to what we do. So stealing, in my opinion, taking too many references from one thing becomes a copy. It becomes stealing of an overall motif. I think is weak. And me and my friends, like, we held like skateboarding it was like, these people are really pushing it in terms of creativity and production, and they deserve to like have the respect and honor, not to be like ripped off. And then to like, it just, I know our skateboard friends, because we hung out with a lot of skateboarders, they would see that shit and be like, this is so stupid. Like, what are y'all doing? And that's why it put a sour taste in my mouth, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. And that's, I'm not going to jump to any conclusions and be like, yeah, that's a blatant ripoff, because I still got to watch it. And I'll leave benefit of the doubt. So I don't know. But it's interesting to think about. And it's just, I agree with your point. You can't take everything from one video. Possibly he had this from this, and I'll look at it with a critical eye, but that's a valid point, dude. If it's straight up like jocking, then
it's a tour documentary, and it's using a bunch of Arcade Fire songs. And if you look at the covers, it's a black and white photo with a color logo. It's the same shit. Whether he realized it or not, maybe he didn't. It's the same shit. And
I'm sure he did. And I think he would be honest about it. He'd be like, yeah, I love this, so I copied this.
So, and that's, I had a problem.
I'm not necessarily mad at it, because I don't know. I would have to watch. I'll watch, and then I'll make a decision from that. But yeah, no, are you
gonna update us with your opinion on this podcast?
No.
All right,
it'll be a mystery.
Damn.
It'll be. We can tune into the live streams to see my opinion. I'll break it down. Well, that's a fun topic for a live stream. Just dissect everything. We could just Rich Hirsch exposed. Hi, Rich.
No, I mean, I'm not interested in that. Yeah, I don't. Again, I don't really want to disparage anyone. Whatever. I'm past that point in my life, but we were just having this conversation, and you're saying that it was like an iconic video, and to me, I was like, I have no respect for this video, and I was like, why is that? Well, I remember, and it took me like a day to remember why it was, and then I kind of put two together. I was like, yeah, like I don't know, man. That's
because you were aware at the time.
Super Champion Fun Zone came out a year before the Low Tech video.
Yeah.
So we had been watching it heavy at our house. We watched more skate videos than bike videos at that time, I would say.
Huh. Yeah.
And that was like a BMX house, all like pro BMX.
That checks out. So then just dismissed. Like it's just like, oh, this shit is not.
No, and Chase was in it, and he lived at our house, and he was making fun of it.
Nice.
Yeah. It's like that.
It's literally, is this today we talked about it or yesterday? It's fucking fresh to me. This is news. This is shaking my foundation of what I thought, you know? But
I mean, yeah, I don't want you to not like the video that you
no,
like. That would be the lot. Yeah, so
I'll always love the video and the writing. Like Dakota's nose mail, Ian Schwartz is in there doing fucking cool backwards mails and shit. Like that video was very special and always will be. But it's interesting to hear like where the inspiration came from it. I'm trying to think of like stuff that I've done that I don't know if there's one where I just completely jock anybody. There's examples of that where it's like, I think, I don't know if I told Mastroni to his face, but Mastroni's influenced by the Buster O'Shea and Hunter O'Shea almost as much as I was. But I remember talking to them and they were mad because he stole something. But it's just like all artists steal and take something. It's just a matter of like how you do it. And if you do too much from one person, then it's like, come on, man. You know, you have to kind of do something on your own.
You've got to make it your own. That's it.
Yeah.
Like if you can tell where the influence is directly coming from, then it's not an influence, it's a copy. That's the difference between influence and copy.
Yeah. Huh. What's another blatant example of that you can think of? I'm trying to think right now.
Shit, I don't know.
It's funny because like you think of just videos are coming out all the time and the ones that make an impact. That person who made that video has influences and they probably took something from somewhere. And if you really looked into it, maybe they jocked the whole thing, but since you don't know what they ripped from, it seems like a new thing. Such an interesting conversation about art. What's the phrase? The great artist copy and steal and shit? I don't know what that is.
Good artist copy, great artist steal.
Yeah. How do you define that? I think we just talked about that, but how do you define that quote?
I mean, that's just that's a way of looking at it. I mean, that's like a way of trying to make it black and white. It's to me, and it's like it's not a black and white issue. But again, like it comes down to like, do you have your own voice? Are you able to like use the tools that you have chosen to like portray that? And is your intent to copy or is your intent to make something new? Like what is the driving force behind that? I think
intent matters for
intent
sure.
Plays a big role. And when I watched that low tech video, I feel like the intent was to like make a rip off of that. I was like, oh, this video is sick. I'm just gonna like make a copy of that. And so to me, that's like bad intentions.
Yeah.
Like
what do you think about it in the fashion world? Because that's a very common thing where, you know, you take the New York Yankees logo somehow and make it BurnSlow, or obviously not BurnSlow, but
so flipping logos, is great. That's when you take something established and you turn it into a new idea. That's incredible. I think when people try and like jam their logo into something that doesn't work, like that's like not even a logo flip. That's just like a weak like attempt at using brand recognition for your own, and like it's borderline copyright violation. It's like not, it's just boring and uninspiring, and it's more it's like it just ends up on shirts that end up in a landfill that we don't really need. Like that's how I think about stuff like that. But logo flipping is a classic like streetwear, and there's an like when it's done right, it's amazing, and it's like it's a great tool and a very cool. It's not only like aesthetically cool, but there's usually a level of cleverness to it, and I think that's like what adds extra depth into the world just in general. It's like it makes you.
It's like, oh shit, the way they did that is cool, and it's still an established thing already, so you love it. Yeah, I love it.
But it makes you think about something or like laugh or just whatever. But it's not just like a logo jammed on something. It's like, oh yeah, cool. I don't know. That to me, that's the difference.
Right. Can you think of an example
of what?
A good logo flip, in your opinion?
Oh, I mean, the BMW BMX one is a classic one. Do you know that one? That's like the most classic. It's been done by several people. There's some guy in England, I think, did it first. G Sport used it for a while also. But it's just the BMW logo, but they changed the W to an X.
Yeah, here it is, BMX Museum. I'll share this tab and show real quick. Right there.
I mean, that's not the best one, but it is you're using the letters in a way that is like a good use, essentially.
And I think that's so fun. That's a whole different sport, because like you have to follow that rule of like you have to change it enough to where it's like you're like this isn't changing much. This BM
and like
but that's pretty good if that's BMX. Shadow,
like the fucked Ford logo. That's like kind of the original logo flip. Are you familiar with that one? No. FUCT.
Is it BMX?
No. Eric Brunetti.
Oh, sick. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
That's the original. Yeah, that's cool. As far as I know, like he was one of the first people that sort of popularized that idea. So that's a good use of a logo flip. Usually the same amount of letters, or like the first letter, the prominent letters match up, like that type of a thing, right. You
know? How passionate about like streetwear and fashion are you? Like when did the passion for like the fashion side of things? I know your kind of story with like you had a mom who made you explain your shirts to be able to understand the art that's on it. That's from the Traction interview. And you always kind of were artsy and drawing and shit, and you went to college for graphic design. But when did it become? And you had a class project for Cult, and that was like your magazine. And so I'm answering my question again. Did you just kind of get into it by just experience of working for Cult at that point? And like, when did you learn how to design a T-shirt?
I design a T-shirt in terms of like making a design to be printed on a T-shirt.
Yeah, and then just getting into the like fashion.
So I think first I got a sticker made for Trend. That was the first graphic design thing I ever did on a computer. And then I started making shirts for them in the
Trend.
Started making shirts for Empire. Sorry, once we switched over.
Got it. Trend was the bike shop that in. Yeah, okay.
Trend Bike Source was the first bike shop, and then it turned to Empire. So I was very into graphic tees probably starting in high school. I don't know if you remember this, but there was like probably like 15 years ago, like normal people didn't wear like old band tees. Like you wouldn't go to like a college and see a bunch of college kids wearing band tees. That like I think
American Eagle.
It's hard to believe for a lot of people now, but like that's this whole vibe of how vintage is now, like just did not exist at all. It didn't. It's a whole new phenomenon, and it like has taken off. But I was super into buying like big, bold printed shirts when I was in high school. I don't know, it was like I gravitated towards them, and I've just been doing it since then. And I've always I for a long time I just wanted to have a clothing company. I don't really know why.
Yeah.
I always thought it would be like my lane in BMX. It kind of aligned with the things that I like to do.
Why?
And
why do you think that is?
Because
why are you the way that you are?
I don't know, man. I'm not really sure.
Nobody
Through
knows.
Evolution, science, I don't know.
Evolution and science. For me, I got into filming because I got hurt, and then I was like, fuck, I don't want to push the writing anymore. So I got into making videos, and I fell in love with it after that. So it's an interesting topic for me. It's just like, why do people love the things that they love? Like, sometimes I sit back, I kind of detach from like who I am, and I'm like, why the fuck do I give a shit about doing BMX tricks? You know, like, why do I really like watching a BMX video? And it's hard to describe. Like, when you describe it to somebody as like, it's skateboarding on the streets. Yeah, but it's like, why do you really like that? And then you get into, well, because it's artistic expression and it's physical activity and it's a sport kind of, but it's all up to you, and like the cliche answers. But it's interesting to think about why we are the way that we are.
Yeah, I mean, I think humans like doing what they're good at, generally speaking, and I think so. I think that's what I'm good at, probably. So that's why I gravitate towards it. And I've like just that's how I've dealt with the things like the traumatic things that have happened in my life is through like drawing and expressing myself in creative art ways. And
yeah,
so I've just found like a huge relief. Like, it literally feels like exerting this, like kind of the same way when you go ride and you're like, or like even like punching a punching bag. Like I get the same feeling, that cathartic feeling from drawing. If like I'll draw, like if I don't do this anymore really, but when I was younger and I was angry, I would just draw people that I hated their heads blown off and shit like that, because I was just like, yeah, like it was just so angry, and it would make me feel better. I would like laugh about it, and and then it's like, okay, it's over with now. I don't really need to think about this anymore. But just like stuff like that.
Can I ask why you were so angry?
My dad passed away when I was 10. I think that was like a pretty big catalyst for it. Like in my youth, for sure. It took me a long time to get over that, I think.
Fuck.
Yeah, I mean, but like, again, like the art has helped me a lot, and that's why I'm so passionate about it. And I hold it close to my heart. A lot of the stuff I did for Colt early on was still when I was working a lot of that stuff out, and I probably shouldn't have like used my therapy to like brand a company. But at the same time, people really
gravitated. The brain makes sense, dude.
Yeah, exactly. People really, I think, gravitated towards that like kind of feeling. No, like they could feel, I don't know, whatever. I think it worked for whatever reason. And so, yeah, that's part of why I'm sour about it now, is because it was a lot of myself that I put into it. Yeah. And I was told that I would get respect for that, and wasn't necessarily met the way I was told. It was like, yeah, for sure. And then it was like, oh yeah, well, my bad.
Well, yeah, for you, it's fucking everything. It's your entire emotions and passions. And then for them, it's just a business thing. It's just like, we need another design, but you're putting your everything into this, and it's understandable to have a little bit of sour taste in your mouth after that.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking A. Dude, I started tearing up. My dad's got cancer right now. I'm like, fuck.
I'm sorry, bud.
It's okay.
How's he doing?
Let's take a pee break, and then we'll come back. I'll get another brewski, and then we'll wrap it up. Give it 20 more minutes. And we're back. Welcome back to Dr. Phil Live with Adam L. Roye. Emotional episode. No, it's nothing. My dad shit is nothing too serious, I don't think. I think he'll pass soon, but I've been lucky to. He's like 77. He's beat lung cancer and colon cancer multiple times. I remember being super worked up.
Wow.
7 years ago, he had some serious lung cancer, so they removed part of his lung. Wow. And I didn't really understand it, so I thought like he's dying for sure. And so they just found a cancer in his throat that they're gonna take out easily, but then there's another piece in his lung again that they're gonna have to like. I'm gonna drive him to the place next week to see what the story is with it. My mom's having hips. It's just part of life. Like they're getting old. I'm so lucky to have them for my whole life, which makes me even almost more sentimental about it. I'm like, this has been so good. Like I don't want it to end, but
yeah.
And then also like hating on myself for not spending enough time with them or as much as like an ideal person would. But I golf with them. I talk to them often enough, so there's no like regrets. It's just part of life. I feel like, bro, if you fucking don't cry when your dad dies, it's insane. So just hearing that he passed for you when you were 10 is like, it's fresh in my mind for me. I'm like, oh, I can't. That's a passage of life that I haven't crossed yet. So it's almost like, you know, salute. You're on the other side of this emotional barrier that kind of everybody goes through.
When you're 10, it's
that's unbelievable. Yeah.
It's nothing. Yeah, it's really hard to. Your brain isn't really capable of comprehending.
You can't compartmentalize, so it's just like pure raw feeling. And so even having an outlet like drawing is great.
Oh yeah, and bike riding was what originally, like, that's where I funneled a lot of that into. Was just like, oh, I'm gonna hop on my bike and just go. Like I just need to get away, you know.
Yeah.
Just that was the start for me for sure.
See, there it is. There's the answer. Why are we the way that we are? It's because of, you know, important things that happen in our life.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It shapes everything.
So how does that make you feel about, are you seeing anybody? You gonna every time I think of this, I remember being made fun of. That's a white people question, but are you married? Are you gonna have kids? Like what's your like family situation, if any? Are you dating?
I'm dating. I'm not married. I've got a serious girlfriend of 3 years, 2.5 years, something like that.
Sheesh, good for you. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
You guys gonna do the procreation thing or no?
Probably, I would imagine. Yeah, we'll see.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good for you.
All my friends have kids, so
yeah, it's fucking. I don't know. Like, there's a weird segment that I've like heard from where it's just like, oh fuck having kids, and I'm just like, what do you mean, dude? Like that's a whole fucking. I want that so much. I want to fucking be a dad. I don't know if I'm ready for it yet, but nobody knows if they're ready for it.
Seriously, yeah, for real.
Yeah. So let's just get the show on the road. They start fucking leaving it in.
Oh yeah, I need a better paying job maybe, but we're working on it.
That's my main concern too. I'm like, I don't really have a savings. I need to probably take financials more. I've never taken it serious because I've always just, dude, when I was younger, I was a straight up like, I don't know, communist. Just fuck money. Money's the root of all evil. The government should just pay us all, and
sick.
Just a real spoiled little shit, dude. Like I was in college, just an idealist, and like, you know, I was just like, BMX is my thing. I care about this. I'm gonna make this a thing. But then you get older and kind of realize like, oh, like you kind of have to earn what you're worth or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. And there's people who make less money than me that have 3 kids that do fine. So it's just
right.
Like,
yeah,
we can do it. And I'll do it sooner than later. It's only been 4 months, but I've known her for 12 years now.
12 years. Wow. How did y'all meet 12 years ago?
I'm gonna marry this broad. We used to.
Really?
Yeah, she came around, and I don't know how she came around, but she was like kind of annoying, but pretty cute. And we would hook up, but not really fully hook up. And she was just a shit. Like she felt like the homie. And then she's a photographer, and then life goes on. I went my way, she went her way, and then she turned in because like I didn't give her the time of day. But then like over these past 10 years, she became my ideal person. And then when we reconnected like 4 months ago, I was like, holy fuck, what was I doing throwing you away earlier? But if I didn't do that, she wouldn't become who she is. And it's a beautiful thing where I'm like, oh yeah, this is 100%. I've never felt this feeling where it's just like, you're my person. I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you. Like come like I've never felt more confident. Like we'll get married next year, have kids this year. Like and it's a crazy thing. You tell that somebody casually and they're just like, what, dude, are you sure you having psychosis right now? And I'm like, no, I've been through enough relationships. Like I've dated plenty of girls, but she's the one. Very stoked.
That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah, feels great. But anyway, enough about me, dude. Let's talk about you. So let's see our notes here. I mean, this is a heavy one, but you started a business. What would you say is the blueprint for starting a business? To preface this, in your other podcast, you gave the advice of like, make a zine. Doesn't matter how shitty it is, because you can improve on that after you put out your first shitty thing. So don't don't let your standards get in the way of just doing shit and then keep getting better. But then that's for art. So what about for business? And I don't know, is BurnSlow like a profiting business each year, getting bigger? Is there a board?
No, it's not. So
yeah.
I wouldn't be the right person to ask this question.
Right. You're an artist.
I'm not a business minded person. I hate that aspect of it. I want nothing to do with it. Unfortunately, I have to do all of it. But yeah, I mean, I'm not the right guy to ask.
I think that's like, granted, you don't have to answer that question. That's great. But if I wanted anybody to run a good business that actually blows up and does well, is somebody who's reluctant to be a business person. Make them do it. I think.
Agreed. Yeah,
that's
I agree.
Type of values that I would like.
Yeah.
We talked about mediocre in December. Hey, you want to come out to Phoenix in December?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do
cool.
it. Oh yeah.
Something that was interesting from the Traction episode was Chase Hawk subliminally wearing a Cincinnati hat with Colt written on it.
Yeah.
Did that influence the design of the logo?
No.
Nah.
No.
So I don't know. If people haven't listened to that other episode, I thought it was super interesting because I remember being how old, 22, 23 when it came out. The fuck? Quick math. 20. I was 20 when it came out. And the polarity of that CVLT/cult logo.
Oh man, I got so much shit for that.
Yeah. But in hindsight, I would tell you, congratulations, you made an epic logo because like it's still talked about to this day. Somebody else who does a good logo and is not polarizing. Did you think it was going to be polarizing when you made it?
I mean, so a lot of the reason the logo was polarizing was because of the drama surrounding. It was a lot of the people that were talking shit about it were people that were salty about how things went down.
Do you think if there was no drama, you wouldn't get any shit for it looking almost illegible?
I think people would have definitely said stuff, but the level that it took on was a product of like the people that were angry about it looking for anything to tear down.
Right.
But that's also like the LLC, like the name of cult is CULT/CVLT. Like there is a like a UV mix in there. So I was doing like, and people don't even know that. That's what that to me was like. That's why I liked it like that. And it was also designed very specifically with how it would look wrapped on a top tube. Like it would be like sort of dripping. Like that's how I designed that logo to look like a certain way wrapped on a frame. Like 1000%.
That's sick as fuck. Both of those things. Damn, that's very cool. I didn't know that it was like an LLC of cult/CVLT. That's amazing.
Because they couldn't get CULT LLC. I was already taken.
Yeah. Huh. I'm glad I asked. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you can think of that I should ask about from your days in cult? Any other interesting facts before I move on?
Oh, man. Not that I can think of off the top of my head. I wish I had. No, I mean, it was a great time in my life, and it was also very frustrating a lot of the times. Yeah. So, just like it's weird. I can't tell you how the day that I no longer had to answer to Robbie, like that was the best feeling fucking ever. It's like I'm never talking to this guy ever again. And like no more bullshit in my ears ever again. This is like the best feeling fucking ever.
Been there, brother.
Oh.
less bad blood, but I've been there for sure. It's just so frustrating. And yeah, understanding where you're coming from now, I'm like, I have even more empathy for your situation?
I'm a like exceedingly like fair and give people like time after time, and I'm a very loyal person, and like people just will take advantage of that, like if you let them. And I let somebody like, and again, like I there was a part of me that knew that was happening, so I always like found ways to like I always had my own web store and sold my own cult products. Like
Nice.
I would make my own zines with the logo on them and like make weird little shirts and stuff that I wanted to make.
Huh.
And so it was always my brand. Like I always maintained ownership that way. Like that was the way I could only control my little part of it or whatever.
Dude, actually, yeah, that like it kind of just hit me a little bit harder right now thinking about the fact that it is your brand, but it's like the timing of everything. So it wouldn't be what it is without obviously Robbie coming in and taking, but also the logo. So just to be clear, the logo came after Robbie's involved, and you guys are partnered up and making it and putting it on.
No, the logo existed before. The logo
top
was
tube
on
dripping cult CBLT
yes,
logo. Yeah,
yes,
that already existed.
Yes, was on 2 or 3 zines that I had already made, and a couple T-shirts that I had already made, and sticker packs, and I had been selling those like on a little web store that I had. And this is 2007 through 2009, I think. And then Robbie told Chase that he was getting kicked out of Fit, and then it was all going down, and he approached like all of the younger guys that he had really good relationships with at Fit and said, hey, do you guys want to join me? I'm going to start my own company away from all of this. I'm not going to fight for it or anything. And they were like, yeah, let's do it. And he asked them if they had ideas for names, and Chase Hawk he suggested to Robbie, he's like, what if we take Adam's like zine that he's doing and we turn that into the company? It'll be called Cult with his logo, and he can do like the art and stuff. And Robbie was like, yeah, let's fucking do that. And yeah, there's a lot more to the story than that. But
And I came into, I'm like trying to empathize from my experience, and it's just like that can't even relate. Like that's somebody coming and taking mediocre at best, turning it into a bike company, and then I get pushed out
and telling you that
that's
the whole time
dude.
That it'll be your vision, how you want it. And then when push comes to shove, it's like, oh man, sorry, like we couldn't. It's just like it's not gonna happen this time. But next time, don't worry, next time it will. And then next time comes, it's like, shit, my bad again.
So what was important to you? Was it making a living off it, or the artistic integrity of it for you? Because I imagine, like after talking to you, I know it's artistic integrity, but like I'm sure
when I was
where it's just like, dude, like this is my shit. Make me a bigger partner. I wish you could go back in time and like negotiate for yourself better.
Okay, so when I was making $2,500 a month, I was great. I was set. I also get a salary from Empire. I was good to go, had no problems. Everything was great. The problem was the art is like, yes, the artistic integrity, but it's not even like that deep. It's like about how this company could be so much better and more successful and cooler if you guys would follow like this plan that I'm trying to put together. And that would require being patient, and it would require like taking your time and making not just Robbie's thing is turn and burn. It's put a new thing out every day. He wants to try and win the internet every day. That is not my mentality at all. I'm like the total opposite of that. I think we can win by like crushing the internet once a week or once every other week. We don't need to be putting out this like menial dog shit every day. It tears the brain down. That's an example. It's things like that we didn't see eye to eye on. And my problem was he would be like, yeah, dude, you're right. Like we'll get it there. And then it wouldn't happen. Instead of being like, you know what, that's not my philosophy. My philosophy is turn and burn. He couldn't be honest about that with me. He would just say like, yeah, dude, that's right. We'll get it there. And then he had no real intentions of getting there, honestly.
Sounds like he would, people please you, say what you wanted to hear, and then move on.
Yes.
Which, that's a very common thing in business, it is like kind of, so it sounds, I don't want to say, I don't know him. I've never dealt with him business wise, so I can't say that he's slippery, but that's a slippery move to just say something and then do a different thing, you know?
Yes.
And I have my own philosophy on that, because I think that there's a, like that specific example of like bang, bang, bang all the time, or churn, or not churn and burn, but put out something quality when you can, every 6 months or a year. And it's just that there's such that's a whole conversation of just like which works better for a business. But it just sounds like a nightmare to, you know, have your baby that you came up with in college get commandeered, and it's not like it got commandeered by a pirate coming onto your ship like, this shit is mine now. It was a partnership, but it's just the lack of follow through on promises that sounds like a nightmare, dude. That's a bummer.
Yeah.
So what can you do? We got BurnSlow, and everything's supposed to go the way that it went. So BurnSlow will be exactly what you want it to be, and life will be good. It's yeah. There's no such thing as a coincidence. Things go the way that they should.
Yeah,
Fuck,
I don't.
Yeah, that's heavy. I'm sorry. Sorry for all that.
It is, and I mean, a million people told me it was going to happen. I can't even tell you how many people were like, dude.
Watch out, dude.
But that was part of the reason that I always kept my own web store and my own, because that means that I still maintained ownership in the eyes of the logo. Just if you can understand that.
I was just looking at your Instagram. I saw the posts. Some of the OG artwork for Cult is so good. Do you got any double XLs?
Oh no, I got rid of everything.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Okay. You got extorted by an Airbnb host?
Yeah, dude.
You covered that in Traction, but I was like, dude, please elaborate. What the fuck happened? So set the stage. What happened?
So I wasn't there. I rented an Airbnb for some of the younger guys that we work with to go from Austin to Albuquerque and back. And they stayed at the Airbnb and they were smoking weed and where they shouldn't have been, and I told them not to beforehand, and they still did it anyway.
Kids.
And the guy who owned the Airbnb was staying next door, so he could see all the shit going on, and he used that as essentially a wedge to open up like every grievance he could imagine and accuse them of like ripping the headboard off the wall, and like he said that there was a meth ring. He said that they had been smoking meth in the house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
and we looked up meth ring and nobody can figure out what it was. A coffee stain. Like someone had a coffee and like they like their little
smoking meth on the coffee table.
Yeah. And like if you look up meth smoking, like, there's no device that would leave a ring like that. It literally makes no sense.
Yeah.
But Airbnb was like, oh, yeah, definitely meth heads. And, yeah, he just, like, so they got us for the weed and, like, all this other shit. And they said I had to pay a shitload of money. It was a few $1,000, $4,000 or $5,000 maybe. And I talked him down. And then they still said I owed a lot. And so I canceled I just like nuked my account. I was like, fuck this. I'm not paying this. And somehow, and I even canceled my credit card, but somehow there's a loophole where if you've put a card into an online processor, even if the card number's been canceled, they can still charge it later on. So they were still able to charge a big portion of it
to a totally different card,
to a card I had canceled. Yeah, I don't know how they did it on an account I had nuked, but
I'm not surprised. Like, they know everything. But go on. Yeah.
No, I mean that's about the end of it.
What did you get charged? $3,000?
I think in the end it was $2,000 was what I paid altogether.
Okay. But I mean, fuck, dude, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But also, kids. When we say don't smoke weed at the Airbnb, don't smoke weed at the Airbnb. At least not outside. Smoke a vape in the bathroom.
Listen, we've been traveling with weed smokers for 20 years. No one I've ever been with on a trip has ever gotten caught. Ever.
Yeah,
with anyone, ever. No Airbnbs, no cops, and nothing.
Yeah.
And these fucking kids go without me one time and fucking it all blows up.
Because you kind of, when it's like high stakes, where it's just like, okay, this is definitely not allowed. Let's be low key. We can go in the car, drive around the block or whatever. But like to be told not to and then just go smoke blunts in the backyard is pretty childish. But that's what kids are for, dog. Fuck rules, dude. We're anti-establishment. It's like,
yeah, that's why we ride.
Bro, I'm the establishment paying you to be here.
Yeah. No, I have no Airbnb account, so that's cool.
Oh man, fucking A. That's fun. The perks of like getting older and taking the more responsibility roles in the whole BMX process, because it's so fun when you're just a little kid showing up on a trip and you're just like,
yeah,
let's do bike tricks.
Yeah, trash the place maybe.
Yeah. I feel like I mentioned this earlier, but I don't know if we covered it. You mentioned in Traxon the 100x, the 100 times size model that you're collaborating on. Did you come up with like a big ass shoe or something?
No, we started working on that, but that all fell apart because of how just that project wasn't coming to fruition the way I could tell. So it was not worth putting that into it.
Yeah.
But it will happen.
Big ass shoe someday it'll happen. Do you have any big visions right now you want to put into the universe that'll come to fruition?
No, I don't believe in doing that. I think
I call it mental masterbation. Like I would avoid saying it and just do it.
Yeah, I have a lot. Yeah, exactly. I think setting, like, there's a lot of things I want to accomplish and I keep them in lists and I definitely like check through them at the pace that I can. But yeah, I don't like really putting it into the universe too much. I can say that we're working on a Sunday BurnSlow collaboration that will be out at the end of this year. That'll be a frame and some soft goods, a seat, and a pad set, maybe some other stuff. And then we also have a collaboration with Shadow Riding Gear and Jaden Mucha. It's like a 3-way kind of a deal.
I was told that by Shadow Riding Gear. I don't know who runs their Instagram, but they were telling me like BurnSlow collabs coming soon. And I was like, what?
Yeah, I think that's coming for Halloween. So I can put those into
tell me more.
World.
Tell me something else. Shadow Riding Gear makes pads. Are you doing BurnSlow pads? That's fire.
We're doing a helmet, gloves, and a jersey.
Let's go. Cool.
And then maybe I have a bunch of other stuff mocked up, but I've got to kind of work through the production side of it.
Yeah. Did you mock up some shin guards?
No shin guards, unfortunately.
Fuck you. Why not? I want some cool shin guards. That sounds awesome.
Have you ever worn shin guards?
Pants anyway, so it's kind of silly to put a design on it.
Did you ever wear shin guards?
Yeah. Fuck yeah. I got them sent to me for free by Shadow Riding Gear, and I was like, I'm rocking the fuck out of these. They got the little ankle pads. Anytime you wear baggy jeans, you might as well put them on. And then you get a shinner, and you're like, haha, psych. I ain't got no shinner. It's fire.
You want a little preview of the...
Mm-hmm.
Can I flip the camera around? Is that possible?
Yeah, can you present? No, you're
on my
yeah. Phone. I'm sure you can flip it. Yeah, there you go. Damn. Hold on.
Right,
let me make you big. Let's see. Okay, that's on point. I like that. I like that a lot. What's your favorite piece from it? If you had to get just one thing.
Shit, I don't know.
Shit, I don't know, dog. I don't know what I like.
The scarf will be cool. I don't really make stuff for myself that much anymore.
Yeah, that led me into the question, like, you've been designing stuff for so long, you're not jaded, but you probably have a level of like, it doesn't do it for me anymore. What would do it for you? Like what's the latest thing that you did, like, that you're like, oh fuck yeah, I want to wear that? Like for me, it's this shirt. I'm sure like you don't have the same desire to wear this shirt that I do, but I love the purple. I love comfort colors. I love this logo. You know what I mean? What does it for you lately?
it's gotten to the point where when stuff comes out, I'm like, I just don't kind of care to wear it anymore. I like get excited. I love it. I'm very excited. And then I'll put it on and immediately take it off, like not wear it. I'm like, I don't really want to wear this. I don't know.
Cornball shit. I don't like.
It's like
it have to do with the fact that you made it.
Yeah, probably because I've just been looking at it for so long, and I made it, and it's like, yeah, I don't know.
Bro, I had that today, and I didn't even make it, but I was wearing the fucking cotton shorts, the champion shorts that you made with BurnSlow on the leg, and then I was wearing this shirt, and I was just like, Jesus Christ, what have I become? What have I become?
It does feel silly when
you fucking sell out.
Yeah, when I'm in my house and I'm dressed like that, I feel silly for sure.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
like honestly, I've worn a mediocre at best shirt once. You know, like it's not. I can relate. But
I wear them when we go on trips and stuff like that. But otherwise,
you got to represent.
Yeah.
What's it? Speaking of representing, what's it like getting Chase and Aaron to? I mean, it's their shit too. So I don't know, because I was watching the promo and I was just thinking about the behind the scenes of, I forget what the promo is called, but it's Chase, pretty much mostly Chase riding under the bridge promo for the Etnies collab. I forget what the name of it was, but he's rocking the shoes and stuff. And I wonder what the process of like making that happen is. Like, hey, Chase, we got to wear these shoes and go film a video. And he's like, okay. He's a professional, I'm sure.
Yeah. So he, like, in that instance, he has obligations to Etnies that they have expectations for him that, like, hey, we need you to wear this, and they'll be most of the companies like that are pretty specific about, hey, we want to get this rider and this and these shoes and this shirt. Or if it's a frame company, most of the frame companies I've worked with are pretty specific. Like, we'll get this rider on this frame. And then as far as like when we go on trips, we tell the riders that, like, the deal is, we tell them about, we'll pay you, we're going to take you on a trip. We'll cover the expenses. We'll give you per diem. And your only expectation is that you wear our only expectation is that you wear one piece of BurnSlow clothing. It could be a hat, could be a shirt. And I'm not going to like press you about it once on the trip, but that's what we're asking.
Yeah.
And
what if they're like, okay, I'll just wear socks underneath the jeans?
I mean,
they wouldn't do that. That's fucked. Yeah.
We've brought people on trips that didn't wear shit, and then it's happened, and it's fine. That's the thing. Like, I don't want to. You can tell if someone's forced to wear something. Like, if someone's not comfortable, then like I don't want to portray like people uncomfortable in my clothing. You know, like that's not a good look. So
they feel good wearing it, then it sells. But if they don't, then it's fucking like almost the opposite of sells.
And the key for our brand has been, I make a varying style of things, and I think that makes it less of like a honed in brand in a way.
Right.
But
it's makes not just a logo on a shirt. It's a bunch of things.
It makes it more like widely appealing to a wider audience. Some people really like just the chest hits. Some people like the all over print. Some people like comfort colors. Some people hate comfort colors. So we use different blanks. Agreed. Yeah.
No, that's fast.
It's we do, and that helps. Getting everyone kind of can find like a few things that fit them the way they like and that they're into and comfortable with.
Yeah. Can I get a promo code? I've heard a couple people told me they used my dance comp code, and I was like, all right, now we're official, dude. Let's get a BurnSlow promo code.
What does that mean?
15% off if you use code Kanode at checkout.
Sure. Yeah, we can do something like that.
That would just be an extra hour of work on your end, on the back end. Maybe not an hour, but are you doing like online? You got to wrap it up or what?
Oh, I mean, no, I don't think so. My phone might die soon, actually. Yeah. So I'm at 13%.
Oh, we're chilling. Okay, we'll wrap it up in like 10 minutes. Are you doing like paid advertisement on the internet or anything?
Nope. We're a Dig affiliate, and we have an agreement worked out with them that's like a bunch of. It's I guess I'm.
Who'd you deal with for that, Will?
Yeah, with Will. Yeah, but it includes like a.
Bloke.
What's up?
He's the nicest bloke.
Oh yeah, Will's the best.
I love Will Smith. I'm curious about it because I'm very curious about just online businesses in general and like, quote, creating funnels. And like, you have so much talent around you that you could create some sort of ad and then target that ad at people who are interested in blah, blah, blah. Like, you have the product that I would be interested in, like trying to exercise the practice of making a funnel. And
hit me with some emails, some details. Let's do it. That's so out of my wheelhouse.
It's an opportunity that you have that you should look into. And I think I can look into that. That'll be fun. All right, so I gotta hit you with the classics. Who's your Mount Rushmore?
All right. He said, I'm gonna go the T1 raccoon. The 2 hip guy. What else? I have more. Hold on. I was looking at a zine recently and I saw someone. So let's see.
What the fuck is the T1 raccoon? What are you talking about?
You don't know the T1 raccoon? I feel bad.
We're talking about riders, right? Is that a guy?
No, it's not a guy. It's a logo. My Mount Rushmore is.
Your Mount Rushmore's logos. I just didn't even know. I wasn't on the same.
The 2 hip guy.
Cool.
Yeah, okay, this is one.
That's the 2 hip guy. Cool. I like that. Who is that? Is that supposed to be anybody?
I don't know. You got to ask. What's his name?
Ron. I've been learning about 2 hip.
The Condor. Where'd it go? The Condor.
Okay.
Is on my Mount Rushmore.
All right. Your Mount Rushmore. He said Mount Rushmore.
And
the T1 raccoon. Yeah, that's pretty fire.
The T1 raccoon. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Fuck, that was before my time.
What's another one? I had another one in mind. I thought about this before I did this. And let me think about that for a second. On topic, what is your favorite BMX logo?
Literally, the first one that popped in my head is the Cult font logo. The one
really?
That you made. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, honestly, that was the first one that popped in my head. Hold on, let me think. What was I into when I was younger? Shit. Nothing pops to mind, man. I think Cult is the first one that pops to my mind. That was the most like impactful for me. That was like my age of being impressionable. Because it wasn't so much like graphics that got me. It was videos. It was voices. It was Can I Eat? So animals up there, the Gryffindor. Or the Griffin. Gryffindor. What is this, Harry Potter? Yeah, animals. Animal was cool. Bro, I don't know. What was cool in 2007, 2008? Yeah, dude, that's crazy.
Fit was huge, and I think in 2007 and 8.
Yeah, it was, but not logos. Like the video, Fit Life was good, but their graphics didn't pop out to me. The graphics of Cult was the first graphic that I was like, oh, there's a graphic. Aside from that, I think I was a fan. Bro, I didn't run stickers. I didn't run stickers on my bike. I had custom.
Really?
Yeah. Custom paint job and no stickers. I wasn't stoked on any stickers. Yeah. And legit, I get that, but I don't because I've never been a sticker guy. And so like stickers I don't care about. So when I made stickers and I pass them out to people, I'm like, here, you throw this away.
I'm never sending you stickers again.
I haven't put in any stickers, but I do pass them out.
Okay.
I keep them in my camera bag and pass them out.
That works. I'll accept that.
BurnSlow is one of the like Cult got me. BurnSlow, like you legitimately, I'm a fan of your work. Like it's hit whatever the fuck it is in your brain that makes you attracted to something. So props.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, good job.
That's cool.
Good job, Mike.
Hell yeah.
So is that 3? T1, Hoffman.
Yeah.
What was the other one?
The 2-hip guy.
Yeah, 2-hip guy. One more.
Fuck, I had another one and now I can't think of what it is.
It's the Texas Longhorns logo.
The Texas Longhorns logo. That's my BMX Mount Rushmore.
Pretty fucking money, dude. Yeah. Will you humor me and do one for riders? Who did you look up to when you were younger, or who do you still pay attention? You can put Brett on there right now.
Let's go. Joe Rich, Taj Mihelic, Paul Buchanan, Ruben Alcantara.
Fuck yeah, cool.
I had the T1s poster, which was all of them. It said the terrible ones. It was a Fox poster, and it was like just portraits of all of them.
Sick.
Yeah, that was my favorite shit.
It really gives like like when you're sitting in the office and you're talking with, for me it was Ryan Scher and Ronnie Bonner and all them, and just talking about, I don't know, a poster or whatever. In our days it was more video, but like I'm thinking sitting in an office, it doesn't hit you how big of an impact that's going to have on some kid's life. You know, like you don't really take into account the gravity of the situation for somebody like Adam, who sees the terrible ones picture. Like I'm sure it wasn't that serious of a conversation where they're like, let's put out a promotional poster, but then boom, that shapes your whole perception of BMX for your life. It's an interesting thing to think about.
I think about that all the time. I'll be honest with you. I'm like, that is like a big point of emphasis in all of the things we make, is remembering what it was like when you were a kid to see this stuff. And that is what about that like sticks out, because kids are just so genuine and natural. They're not like looking to, there you go. Yeah. See?
Yeah.
But it's just cool. Like,
yeah,
they're just like, not a lot of kids. It's like when you like something, it's just because it speaks to you. And so I think there's something like just remembering like why and how that feeling is, and like considering that all of the time.
That's a smart thing to keep in consideration. Like I don't know. I think I'm older and a little bit more jaded now. It's where I'm just like, yeah, it's all bullshit. It's whatever. Blah, blah, blah. But there is something really special about it. So I'm like intellectually aware of it, but like I can't. It's hard for me to get into that mind space of like the stoked little kid anymore nowadays. I kind of downplay everything that I put out or think about. And that's a real personal deal, and we can deal with that later. Dude. We can have therapy session later. So the other staples are wave a magic wand and get rid of a BMX trick forever. What would you make disappear? What's your least favorite trick to see? Mine's X-up rides.
Man, maybe like unlook backs that are done really bad.
If they're done bad, yeah. But I got a really good one of Clay Johnson I'm excited to put out.
I don't really like that trick that much, I'll be honest. Even like, I think Mike Aiken is the only person that's ever done them, in my opinion, that made them look okay.
I like that. That's a very unique answer. That's a good answer.
I
disagree, but it's a good answer.
I think like BMX is such an individual thing that it's like, it's all stupid and it's all cool at the same time in this weird way. That's how I feel. It's like I could find a way to clown literally everything, like if I wanted to.
All right, new game alert. Let's have Adam Roye clown on.
Oh God.
Manual 180s.
I mean, like it would need to be like a specific manual 180 for me to clown on it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's fair. Talon Pemberton in the BurnSlow promo. Dude, he's so good. Talon's shit. Do you know him?
He's incredible. I have met him. Never remembers me. I've given him a bunch of free stuff. Also, yeah.
Oh, Talon. He's from here. He's from Arizona.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. He started to get a name for himself kind of in Chandler, and then I remember reaching out to him like, hey, you're the shit, let's get a clip. And then he moved away to Austin. It's probably because of me. That's why.
Yeah, scared him off, brother.
Yeah. All right. What are you most proud of in your career in BMX?
I don't know, man. I guess making the Cole logo.
That's good. Cool. Is that your real answer, or are you joking?
No, I mean,
that's a big deal. Yeah.
I don't really. I feel like if I had to narrow, I don't know. Like, I don't think about that a whole lot. I'm just excited to make new things all the time. Like, I just want to keep creating, and I want to have like more money, but just to make more and better and cool projects. Like, that's all I'm. That's like my whole life. That's all I care about.
How do you see that happening? Because I agree. I want you to keep. There's a weird fine line that you have to balance between like maintaining artistic integrity and making money. And how do you think that you're going to be able to do that? That's a
just keep. Yeah, there's not like, if I knew the answer, obviously I would just do it.
Yeah.
But so it's like, it's a lot of just keep going. Don't compromise my vision. Like that ultimately will shine through. Like that's yeah, you just got to keep pressing forward with what you believe in and what you want to see done, I think.
I'm happy to hear that you still like, I feel like that got stamped out of me. Like, I had a thing that I believed in, and it just like the business world kind of just fuck that. Like, I have it a little bit with mediocre, but that really got suppressed to where it's just like, let's make money instead of worrying about our artistic integrity. So I respect you a lot for like sticking with it. That's a heavy topic right there. What about scary? I mean, you didn't pursue professional writing and making like video parts where you're doing crazy shit. I usually ask them, like, what's their scariest moment?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I'm with you.
I did like a gap to feeble grind that was like a few feet at my high school. That was the scariest moment of my life.
Boom. Question answered. But what about off the bike? Has there been a scary moment or a super impactful moment, like a meeting with Robbie at some point, or like what's been the most like worked up you've been in your career as a graphic designer?
I don't know. That's tough. There's a lot of those moments that I mean, are you saying good or bad or what?
Neither. Just like intense, scary.
Oh, intense. Robbie driving the van late at night on the way after riding all day, and we're like 2 hours from the Airbnb, and he's like, I want to fucking get back as soon as possible, and we're all in the back. That's been 2 or 3 times, and that was definitely the scariest I've ever been, I would say.
Like what, driving fast or what?
Driving insanely fast. Yes. And it's a van full of dudes.
Lifes. Yeah, that's a van full of lives.
And just, yeah. And it was
no numbers. We're not saying anything bad. He was driving the speed limit. It's fine.
No, he was definitely not driving the speed limit.
I know, dude. I know.
I'm not going to let you get away with that. Absolutely
not. Let's see. So I asked scary. I asked proud. I asked get rid of a trick. Mount Rushmore.
I'm at 4%. I'm about to die.
That's it, dude. Anything? What's your advice to young kids in the BMX industry, like either riders, filmers, graphic designers? What do you say to them if you had to say something?
Make a zine.
Yeah, I like.
Get involved. Get involved in your community. That's the number one most important thing in life. Get involved in your community. That's it. That's all you need to do. Don't worry about too much outside of it. Just focus on your community.
Don't worry about all this. Just do some shit with your friends. Honestly, like, and in this day and age, like a zine could be a Instagram series or a TikTok series or whatever the fuck.
No.
Creative outlet.
No.
I want it to be on paper.
You cannot make a printed product. It's hard. Trust me. It's hard. Do it. It'll teach you some things. And at this point,
there's super value in doing this. It's almost crazy. That used to be the default media form, but now like making a zine is kind of like the very rare thing. So that is smart advice. Do that. Yeah.
Do it. It will teach you things. You'll have to learn how to do things for yourself. Do it. It's important.
Cool. That's it. Good podcast. See you later, Adam Roye.
Thanks, Bobby.
Stay on. Don't leave.
Oh, okay.
That's officially the end, but we'll just keep talking until your phone dies.
Okay.
Thank you for sponsoring the podcast. How am I doing? All right, there you go. That's the whole episode right there. I hope that you have a phenomenal week. Go ride your bike, or don't. Go make some money, or go get I don't know. Bye.